They weren't bluffing. They really believed it was the strongest.
They thought Jeb.
They didn't. I mean, Jeb Bush. Everybody kind of like assumed he was the heir apparent, like that he was
Right. Please
win.
clap.
But they also were like, we got Chris Christie, we got Marco Rubio, we got Scott Walker. Like, this is the strongest field of candidates. Ted Cruz, they were like, this is the strongest, which actually might be true because the Republicans had some. I mean, do you remember the 2012 primary, the anybody but Mitt Romney primary, where they're like, where they were like, what, a pizza CEO? Yeah, that guy. Who? What? Yeah, anybody. Literally anybody. We'll take anybody other than Mitt Romney. And that actually, the only strong contender in that election, in my opinion, was Ron Paul. But that was when the Republican Party was still capable of Bernieing somebody.
Right.
And they Bernied the shit out of Ron Paul. Ron Paul would be second, or he was second in Iowa. And they just skipped his name. Like on the list. They would just be like, first is so-and-so, and third is so-and-so. And it's like, oh, okay. They're just not going to mention the fact that Ron Paul exists.
That's what happens when you have these parties where, everybody's just old as fuck. You've got these political dynasties going back decades that all are expecting each other to pay favors and shit. And then you don't actually let any new blood into the party that could actually change things or, motivate people to go to rallies.
Or it's the fucking definition of tear it out of my cold dead hands.
I mean, they just expect you to toe the line on orthodoxy. Like anybody who steps outside of the party orthodoxy is an enemy, and they sick the media on them. It's just the left is so much better at killing those movements than the right is, and the right used to be much better at it. But in because the right only has Fox News, they switch to the internet. For information, news, and podcasts.
I mean, they did that early. I mean, you can go back to, fucking Drudge Report.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They switched to the internet. They got on the internet way earlier than liberals because there was an existing media ecosystem that catered to liberals, and there was, talk radio and Fox News for Republicans.
Operation Wolf still.
Von Schab.
Kill some Nazis. Good old Nazi killing.
It might offend,
Oh yeah, no, dude. When the second one of these came out, there actually was a ton of Nazi specific hey, this is unfair. This makes us look bad. No, I'm not kidding. There were people that were claiming the identity.
We're feeling really targeted right now.
Yeah, the new Colossus came out in 2016.
Yeah, man. I don't
2015 or whenever that game came out.
I don't understand. That is the shit that scares me about just any kind of identity politics. Is eventually there will be a lot of white people who are wow.
In the shadows, that's never gone away.
Definitely always been in the shadows.
But I think there's
there's going to be an NWP.
There's a certain invitation into the mainstream that thinking that way.
I mean, that hasn't really been a thing in the modern era until relatively recently. But if you want to go back, the 50s and stuff, that's
it was. Yeah,
I mean that's what the
KKK used to have public rallies advocating for white pride.
That's what the Klan was in the 20s.
Yeah.
When the Klan came back in the 20s, that's what they were. It was a reaction to organizations set up for minorities. It was basically, we're going to use the Klan as this vehicle to advance. And especially Wilson got elected. People give Wilson a huge pass on his associations with white nationalism and stuff like that.
People also give Joe Biden a huge pass on that.
That's true. But, I mean, Wilson literally, they marched in the streets because Wilson brought back this sense of here's this old school Democrat with these racial ideas and kind of paternalism and all that.
Stay focused.
Because
that does sound very familiar.
Follow me, right?
Because without Wilson, I don't know if the Klan would have researched in the way that it did. They basically were oh shit, first of all, only 2 Democrats got elected after the Civil War up until FDR. So they were kind of used to being out of power. and that's the old Democratic Party, right? That's still your solid South. So, yeah, when Wilson got elected, because Wilson was a pretty racist person, they took his name off a number of buildings at Princeton because he used to be the dean at Princeton before he became president. He was the one who watched Birth of a Nation on the White House lawn.
I remember.
Yes, that's pretty fucking cringy, man.
Pretty bad.
It feels like we're just going in circles. Like the 2020s are just going to end up with a lot like the 1920s.
Man, I fucking... Sadly, yeah. Well, it feels like they're trying to work the whole last century into this decade.
You think we're getting the Great Depression? And
I mean, people have been predicting a massive recession.
Well, dude, if countries keep de-dollarizing, like they're like an increasing number,
we may not have the ability to bounce back from it this time.
We didn't have that in the 30s.
Yeah,
we have now. It's not even compared.
Sage, that dog has a name. Are you excited to kill it?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I am. That's a fucking Nazi.
You think that dog was taking like Hitler Youth classes?
Yes, it was.
Jesus, this dude looks like a Hulk.
I saw a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger standing next to Wilt Chamberlain and Andre the Giant for some reason. Dude, he looks so small. like just tiny.
Like the Americans say, hot dog.
Yeah. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger between Andre the Giant and Wilt Chamberlain.
That's kind of crazy to see.
I mean, well, you've seen the pictures of Andre the Giant holding a beer can.
Yeah,
and it looking like me holding like one of those airplane pop cans.
He looks like a fucking ogre or something.
Humongous.
This
is the second in command of the villain of this one. Now, this game is pretty short. My save file for completing it the last time I finished it was like 4 hours and 50 minutes. So I don't think it's going to take us more than two streams for this. I think this is going on down here. Oh, just places to stand. Oh, no, you go up to the bed. So this doesn't have nearly as much of the sci-fi stuff because it's a prequel, right? We're actually doing the like.
Sneaking around the Nazis fight
during World War II rather than in the like man in high castle type setting that the.
Did I ever tell you about that, Blazkowicz? Was sick with Blackwater fever at the time. Possibly the worst day of my life.
You know, one of the actors that's been like really putting their own name out there to try and play Batman in James Gunn's stuff is that you see that guy Alan Richardson?
Okay.
If you've seen that, but I say fuck that.
What's that?
Because he'd be so much better if they got him for BJ Blazkowicz.
Oh,
Wolfenstein. Totally. Because if you look at that guy, he fucking looks exactly like this character. And he might make a decent Batman too, to be honest. But like, I feel like if this first, like this almost.
We are kind of in that era where like people are starting to look at video game adaptations as something worth doing. So
yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Wolfenstein one at some point.
When's our next actual like premiere of the video game? Movie. Because it's not. I know they're probably like it's got to be getting close to when they were like. Oh shit! Mario did so well.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we know that there's a second Mario in the works. I don't know what's coming out like next though. Yeah, I'm not sure what's coming out.
It'll probably be something trashy, but you know.
I mean, that's the thing is we are starting to get ones that are good, even if they're not.
That's true, but we are also still getting things like Mortal Kombat and.
That might actually that sequel to that might be one of the next things that comes out.
There we go. You gonna see it day one?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You love Mortal Kombat.
I do love Mortal Kombat. But
you gotta see the movie.
No.
The production quality on that was lower than the movie I got with Mike Jones's new album when I was like 13. And he made a movie and included it with it.
Well, it was lower quality than the 1995 Mortal Kombat
Yeah, it was.
movie.
Didn't that Doom movie already come out? I think was it Annihilation or something?
Well, there was the one that we watched a couple of years ago
Yeah.
where somebody went insane with the label maker.
Yes.
But are you talking about a sequel to that?
Yeah, there's supposed to
Okay.
be one that they were going to do where it actually had the Doom Slayer in it instead of just this random chick. It doesn't matter, but if that came out, it came out to exactly zero fanfare. Oh, it's one of those electro guys. Yeah, I know there's been a whole shitload of god awful video game TV shows. And we're probably going to get a lot more of those. Did you watch the Raid Shadow Legends show yet?
I don't even know if they made it or not.
Oh. You should be looking up on that.
I'm really not interested.
That's like,
Thank you. Though.
Well,
That's one of
video
your
game
favorite
show. All I
franchises.
really know is The Last of Us. What else is out for video games?
I mean, there's the Halo show, which is pretty universally
And
despised.
and they did do.
It keeps getting renewed.
They did do Fallout.
Yep.
Which was generally very popular with like everyone but us. So
I mean, it was about the same quality as the Halo show, which people don't like. So
yeah, everybody dogged on the Halo show, but I thought it was basically the same thing.
People's standards are pretty low. Dude.
Well, it's just like everybody dogged on Halo, and everybody saw that for what it was, but then.
I don't know.
for whatever reason, there's just this how do you say it?
I wonder if it's not because
Bandwagoning. Fallout.
I wonder if it's not because Halo is kind of it's past its time. People aren't as attached to it as, but I feel like Fallout definitely still has so many like almost Star Wars-esque fan
Which
boys
is
and
amazing
stuff like
to
that.
me, because I mean,
After some
Fallout,
of the garbage they did.
yeah, 'cause I think Fallout got worse than Halo did as far as the games go.
Right. But I mean, that's like I said, Star Wars-esque, right? Because that's kind of the situation with Star Wars.
Yeah,
it just
that's
keeps
definitely
getting
true.
worse, but people
still
keep
watch it.
doubling down.
There's a lot of people now who are like, "Oh, you should watch The Acolyte. You know, it's turning around."
I think Michael actually is watching it, and he said he thinks it's not as bad as some of the other stuff that they've made, but that it's
It's not
not.
saying
Right, but I mean, that's what he said. Is it's like it's not as bad as some other stuff, but it's still not good.
I don't know. That power of mini scene is one of the cringiest. That's how Anakin was created, or what? What's the point of that? Like,
I don't think
gathered-
that
They were like,
forced together to make Anakin or something. Like,
no. It's not that. It's that they were trying to do like the Force immaculate pregnancy thing, but it had nothing to do with Anakin specifically. It's just that he was also like had like a weird immaculate Jesus birth thing, and so it was
which is
like
a dumb thing to have in the first place.
right. That's one thing too. Is like I've seen people that
but they were
defend
making
that as like
Anakin, like doing that.
they were trying to do the same process that resulted in.
So is that how Anakin was created then?
I guess.
No.
No.
No, there's a comic book panel actually I could show you.
Okay. None of that shit's canon.
Oh no, this is from after they restarted. So this is canon.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's not Palpatine fucking someone, is it?
Not exactly. Oh shit. Well, let me pause this real quick because I really do want to show you guys
Anakin
this.
was immaculately conceived via the Force.
That was the original.
That was what they
plan,
said
yeah.
in the movies,
Right.
right?
I thought that was George Lucas's idea,
Yeah. No, it's George Lucas's
So
idea.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
which tells you how dumb it is. But
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, okay.
There's Palpatine right there, right behind her.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
so Palpatine is fucking someone.
So it's a dark immaculate conception. Is that why Anakin turns out to be Darth Vader?
So Palpatine is God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think he was chanting the power of many in that scene?
Well, because he's a Sith, I'm sure it was the power of few.
The power of me.
My dick. I get a better.
Working on it.
You got better weapons.
Yeah, I'm not sure where your knife is going.
Oh yeah, okay, I have that stuff. Yeah.
You picked up a point.
How do I get up to that upper level? Ah.
Somebody over there.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with the Star Wars. Netflix is after it.
Exactly what South Park said was going on with Star Wars. I'm just surprised that they just are so determined to let Kathleen Kennedy run it into the
Yeah.
Well, it's making money. That's the whole thing. Is it's making as much money as it's ever made. It made, dude, Star Wars as a IP made $12 billion last year.
Good God.
That's insane. Fair enough, I guess.
Why would you change anything if
Oh no,
making
you're
that much money?
you're 100%. I didn't realize they were just raking in the cash.
I think it was $12 billion. That's like as an overall franchise between toy sales, whatever subscription to watch the shows, the park, and we're like it's yeah. As far as financials concerned,
I guess from a business standpoint, then I guess
it's also very easy to for Star Wars fans, I think, and for the corporate executives. Well, it's not only compartmentalized, but I think it's very easy for them to not listen to genuine criticism because Star Wars is one of those franchises that has like probably the worst of the people who are like legitimately sending death threats to the actors for the movies being bad. So it's very easy for fans and stuff to go like, well, so much of the complaining is actually genuinely on that level that it makes it easy for them to just ignore the legitimate criticisms
just to blackball that shit. Be like, oh well, you're just crazy.
Yeah, it's very easy to lump all that stuff into one thing.
I'm always just personally offended where you have to watch this or you're a fan.
Oh well, that's ridiculous.
But they do a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They get up there and whine all the time about how.
And we still have a chance.
Yes.
If you don't like it, it must be for that reason.
This whatever this is, it's an event. It represents progress. You got to be part of it.
It's definitely not an event anymore, though. That's part of the problem, right? Is Star Wars, in theory, should be an event when it comes out.
It just comes out fucking week and it sucks. I was disappointed that they didn't canonically make R2-D2 a lesbian.
That would have been great.
Are you telling me that C-3PO and R2-D2 are not a progressive gay couple?
Because that was like the thing everybody was bitching about. And they're like, they made R2-D2 a lesbian, but that's actually just from interview, like where they're joking about it or something.
Wait, were people actually taking that like as a serious like?
Yes.
Wow. Wait, where did that guy go?
Skulls.
I'd like to see a couple droids bump exhaust
Are those crystal skull aliens? No, the skull's behind them. Not Nefertiti in the other room. In there.
Oh. Those are like those elongated skulls.
Oh, they're cone heads. Okay.
Scythian skulls.
Well, like in Africa, they will put the binds around the head, right?
They did it in Latin America.
Yeah,
the Scythians were known for doing it.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the early descriptions of it.
It's literally just right there.
With the Scythians they literally thought they were a different species of human
because of the
they found their heads like that.
They did also have those tall hats, so probably a good thing you fit them around your tall head.
Right. I wonder why. You think people were doing that because they thought it was more space for brains?
Partially, well, I guess we don't know for every group, but I thought like the Aztecs, for example, they did it because they thought it was like it made you more attractive. Like it was their beauty standard kind of.
Yeah.
And I know
why they do stuff like that.
Some cultures did it because they thought it made you look more intimidating.
I mean, I would take a second if somebody's running up at me that had
like
a shape like that.
head.
Yeah.
12 head. Oh, we just got Sparted. In some ways, this game being like a prequel spin-off is almost the closest to replicating like the actual original Wolfenstein game out of this particular rebooted franchise.
You do appear to be starting in a jail cell, so that's pretty accurate.
God damn it, Blazkowicz. You done messed up now.
And then one of these days, we're going to have to play that second one, because you guys both are... this is another franchise where you guys will both be in the same spot.
For sure.
Hey, Blazkowicz. Yep, I'm here, Wesley. Good.
What was that?
I'll get us out of here somehow.
So it was like some piss or something.
I feel like it might have been like really low-res rat texture.
No, never been. It's a majestic and beautifully desolate place. Rolling hills as far as the eye can see. My father used to take me hiking there sometimes. On a great walk. He was happy back then. He'd pack a basket full of bread and cheddar, bottle of ale for him and a soft drink for me. Even found a fossil there once. Same day I broke my foot slipping on a wet stone.
I like how that dude's just reminiscing, and we're like, yeah, how do we get the fuck out?
Right? It's like, we don't need to waste any time. Yes. Fuck, yeah, those were definitely some low-resolution rants.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, they took him. Well, can't listen to his story anymore. Before Doom Eternal. A little different, for sure, but...
Right. That takes a lot of strength, I guess.
BJ Blazkowicz is like a fucking...
ripped.
Yeah. I mean, he is supposed to be like the actual descendant of, ancestor of Doomslayer, so...
That's true. He is. At least in the original games, he was canonically the...
Ulysses, did you see the new technological revolution sweeping New York City right now?
What is it?
You gotta guess.
Self-driving toilets.
No.
Okay.
Garbage cans.
What?
Like the wheelie bins you put your garbage in.
What are you talking about?
like Sage has over
They
there.
didn't have those in New York?
There was
What did they do?
There was a huge announcement. The mayor came walking into music with a wheelie bin, like showing it up. No, dude, literally, like when I was in NYC, they were piles of garbage. You just threw it on the street.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought that New York was like a civilized place.
No.
I thought that
non-humans
lived there, not like fucking troglodytes.
The system has always been throw your trash bags on the sidewalk.
That's like medieval shit.
Yes, there was a huge announcement that they're getting wheeled trash bins.
What wow, they caught up with the rest of the fucking world. Good for them.
I'll just show you the video. It's pretty
fucking medieval ass Europe motherfuckers.
But the way that it was announced made it seem like New York City was the first city in America to introduce this technology. And it's like, I think they're the last.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, most rural towns have wheel trash bins.
Okay, so he gets back up after a moment.
You can't randomly
what are you
fight
supposed to
something
do?
out.
Get over there and
yeah, let's see if I can
stab
fuck
him
with
in the
him.
neck or something.
Yeah, okay.
Probably should have put that was fast.
Those get relatively small ammo, though, and can't use them for that long.
A lot of mileage up the cart.
Oh, and then I wasn't allowed to take it with me.
Oh, they don't have any sort of like emergency system or power runs out.
Backup battery.
Yeah. Or at least a hatch for the dude to crawl out of.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's absolutely something Nazis would design.
That one saw it. Did he? Yeah.
I think he's just really stupid.
Well, because they're on like a track, they can't actually do all that much about it.
That dude can't do nothing.
Nice.
Damn.
Oh,
That was kind of badass.
there was a guy in there.
Not anymore. Now there's Floppy Joe mix.
Like There's like an endocrine system left, maybe.
Chunky salsa, I believe.
Chunky salsa.
I went to a Mexican place once that served a hot salsa.
Hot salsa. Huh?
It was with like the meat drippings from like the barbacoa. So they take like that broth and then mix salsa ingredients in it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that does sound good. I'd try that. There's a random sticky note of a dog over there.
It's saying sage.
Oh, we're killing that fucking dog. Don't.
Live dogs. There are live dogs here for you to murder.
Yeah, fuck that Nazi dog.
They just had a little too much practice with it.
Sage's just like, damn dogs, just taking orders.
It's not a fucking excuse.
Now
Man.
you've killed them, you're going to take their dog food.
Yep.
You gonna eat that?
Yeah.
BJ Blazkowicz is.
Maybe you're just jealous of dogs because you're not a dog. You're like the Buffalo Bill of dog movies.
Oh shit. There's two of them on there. Alright. We need to drop down. Nope, I
you
can't
drop
do that.
No.
I feel like you got to open this up somehow. Probably means killing those dudes or sneaking past them.
I mean, if you walk away, they probably just forget about you because they're tethered.
I have to just long enough to get this down.
You think they could have put?
I'd go get the one over there. Come back. Oh, that guy didn't go down. Okay.
Okay, he's on a different track.
He has his own generator.
There we go.
Fuck you, Siemens. Oh, they're like trolleys.
Yeah.
He's a long range one.
Yeah, I actually don't see like a place to get rid of him from.
I think you probably
Probably
had.
shoot
Well, it's probably that. It's that one.
The one way and back.
One way.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's his track so long.
Let me.
Well, it's not all.
Whoops.
It's not all the way back there. There's one there. It's not. There's one closer. I don't. That might be
That closer one is this guy that's going around the circle right here.
If you can shut one of them down, I think you can just shoot the other.
Yeah, he saw me.
Good thing you filled up on dog food.
I guess you can just kill them both. That's quite easy. Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Maybe not.
You got other weapons, though.
Do you?
No, dude,
Oh
You
shit!
gotta take the ones out there. There you go. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, no, it's just far enough away. Shit. I actually don't see it on the ground.
Didn't like he spawn or something. Oh, he blew up. That's right. It did. I don't think you can pick it up after they blow up.
I picked one up after.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Do you have any ammo on these to maybe pick up that one?
Pretty sure they
Or
come
you might
preloaded.
just-
Those big guns are like. Well, okay. If we just
I think
chill,
if you just-
he will walk away. I think eventually.
Yeah. You don't want to go out and hit him with a pipe.
Don't
That
think
probably
that's gonna
won't
go
work.
well. Okay, he's going.
Fortunately, these guys are pretty dumb.
He's not forgotten about me. He's just.
I saw where the gun was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was to your left once you get on the other side of this. It was
So he did.
unfortunately on the other side of that was bars, but there it is.
Nice. Okay. Let's see if we can get over to.
Speaking of trolleys, Alex, you heard about how bad the Green Line's gotten?
No, what's going on the green line?
Oh dear.
Oh shit.
This one might be a self-kill, but
So what
just-
is that? That door?
must be.
That's pretty intense over there. It's got like its own sentry tower.
But yeah, just for the hell of it, I checked some like travelers like review sites, right? And I wanted to see what people had to say about the Green Line
Okay.
because I know how it's been, but I'm not on there all that much these days.
Right.
So maybe there's like extra doses of crazy that I don't know about, right?
Oh, you weren't expecting an improvement in the situation?
Oh God. But I mean, I've been on there a few times, and I see like crack dealing and stuff going on, and just people smoking wherever, things like that, right?
Yeah, well, where else are you going to buy crack?
Well, the thing is that I don't go out.
Not all of us have the opportunity to buy it up there.
The thing is that I only have ever been on there recently in like the daytime. I haven't been on there like at night, and that's supposedly when it gets really crazy, right?
Okay.
So I was reading these reviews, and it is just nuts. Some of the stuff you read about, like not just crack, but also meth and heroin, are just dealt publicly.
Okay.
They're like the stations, like they got their own drug dealers who will just be like offering drugs to strangers and stuff.
Is it like the kind of thing where you can ride the Green Line and like the doors open and the dealer's there and be like, "You got any crack?" And you're like, "Nah, next stop, I'm the meth guy."
Pretty much.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Apparently, there's just prostitution going on the train.
On the train?
On the train.
Like they're just picking up Johns on the train, or they're like doing the deed on the train.
So what I read is that mostly it's picking up Johns on the train, but also there was some humping going on.
Okay.
So that's a little weird. There's also just loads of like gang activity going on. Just dudes just going up and down the train, just roughing people up, intimidating people, that kind of shit.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. And lots of fights. People just like punching the shit out of each other.
Okay.
And it has the bonus feature of apparently you can call the police now and be like, "Hey, there's a fight going on the train," and they're just like, "Why are you wasting our time?"
Well, we're sounding more like California every day.
And
it's like, who? Us? The police? Help?
and all the train stations, especially when you get closer to Minneapolis, they're basically just homeless shelters with just junkies all over the place, just smashing bottles, doing all kinds of drugs and acting crazy.
Oh, shit.
I expect there to be a sick guy right there.
I didn't see it.
Vision must be pretty limited in sleep.
Probably worse than stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They're more accurate.
So
They
far.
are more accurate.
But yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff, like just hundreds of reviews that are all corroborating this stuff. And of course, you didn't see almost any of these sorts of
You
reviews.
must be on the other one.
Yeah. You didn't see any of these sorts of reviews until after COVID.
I'd go over and get the other one and drop it.
Yeah.
Just don't know where he actually is. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Drop this guy.
Yeah. He's closer. Be in your bonnet.
Oh, say be in your bonnet. I did have to do 1,000.
Shit.
Yes, I.
You telling me Ulysses has not always kind of made you think of an old man?
I just don't.
All of us really, kind of our
Yeah,
whole
we're all
friend
old
group.
curmudgeonly men. I
Old at heart.
you haven't quite gotten to those. Man.
Well, you're a lion dog faced pony soldier.
If we finally beat Medicare.
What are we doing in this country?
I don't.
Nobody knows anymore.
I was just saying this age last night. I was like, leave it to the Democrats to somehow make Trump the source of stability in this election. That is literally how people are looking.
Oh, yeah,
at
there's one of those in that.
It's how people are looking at this election. Well, at least Trump seems stable.
That's how sad is that? That's the thought that.
It
shouldn't
be possible. That should always be like the albatross around Trump's neck is that he does not seem like a very stable human being. But in comparison to Joe Biden,
Yeah, I mean, you saw.
at least you'll be able to wake him up when the nukes are in the air. He'll know where he is. The bar is so... You're going to get spotted.
Yeah, presidents don't have to be awake past 8 p.m.
Well, did you send Ulysses that thing about how Biden was supposed to meet the Chancellor of Germany?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and they're like, no, he had to go to sleep.
Alice, did you see the thing about how he had specialists going to the White House?
Yes,
for
Parkinson's specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 9 visits. And
In
they're like,
like 8
oh, it's
months.
a standard,
And
Standard my ass.
This has been going on since 2012.
I also like how the Democrats are now. So the Democrats demanded Trump take the cognitive test.
Mm-hmm.
Trump took the cognitive test. Then Trump demanded when Biden got elected, he take the cognitive test. And Democrats said it was ridiculous to ask him to take the cognitive test. And now they are demanding he take the cognitive test.
This is like, come on, man. Get through the door.
Yeah, the press corps wasn't fucking around in that last press briefing. Did you see those things where they were grilling Karine Jean-Pierre about the specialist in Parkinson's coming to the White House so much?
Everybody knows that Biden is
It's just
he's done.
so funny to watch the press try to like claw some of their credibility back in the wake of this becoming public.
Yeah, they're all acting like, well, we called it, the second that it was noticeable. We we're saying something.
No, it's been
Or they're like going
noticeable
above.
for
They're going
years.
above and beyond to like act hostile to the White House right now, and like they're the ones holding the White House to account. And it's like, dude, you were pretending up until a week ago.
It's only now when you
Like you were calling videos of them looking old fake. You're saying these are fake videos.
They called them cheap fakes.
That was like a week before the debate.
Yeah, that was a week before.
Where they're like, Biden doesn't look old. These videos are manipulated.
A week later, oh my God, he's so old.
It's some fucking revelation.
How could this happen?
It's so funny. They just, I can't believe it's at this point. I had given up on the idea that they would replace Biden just because nobody was even kind of giving some credence to it. Like laying the groundwork for it. And then after the debate, it was like, oh man, he's like practically dead. And he's like, he's been dead for 4 years.
I mean, it really does seem like Jill Biden's been more or less running the country instead.
It's sad how obvious the outcomes are going to be. Like, the amount of times that we have been like, eventually. I had given up on that prediction. I'd be like, oh, it's too late. I guess they really aren't going to try to pull him.
And then all of a sudden...
like, with 3 months to go.
Like, they might as well have just stuck with the lie at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't have hurt them as much.
Right.
Well, Alex had a good theory that they were, because of all the requests that they were making, that they were expecting Trump to, say, refuse the debate, because he's refused so many other debates. For like random,
for less little nitpicky.
But Trump called their bluff.
Yeah, he called the bluff, and he went anyway. And then they were like, "Fuck."
That's just Trump knew no matter how they tried to like set up the debate to his disadvantage, that all he needed was for people to hear Joe Biden talk for an hour and a half, which has not happened since he was elected president.
And the Democrats were like, oh, he practiced too hard.
Or Sneezer the entire debate didn't.
That dog.
This is why I say you want to play this game.
Fuck them, they're Nazis. fuck these dogs, dude. They're fucking Nazi bitches.
How many colds have you guys ever had where you didn't have to sniff or sneeze?
None. Because that's not how colds work.
Whenever I've had a cold, I've needed a box of Kleenex with me at all times.
Yeah. He had a cold. He had jet lag from 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God, that was ridiculous.
Good God.
Like, are you fucking serious?
I've had jet lag, and
Yeah, jet lag
It doesn't last for 2 weeks.
It also doesn't turn you into a senile old fart.
No, it also does not have that particular effect.
Have you seen the like low level seething rage at Trump right now from the Democrats for not attacking Biden?
Oh, they're pissed that he's not saying
They're
anything.
pissed that they're pissed that he's just letting them fight it out on their own and just leaving this vacuum.
Which normally they're pissed that he is hawking all the attention.
Because they know that he utterly outsmarted them.
Which is like, come on, man. If Trump outsmarted you, it's no one's fault but your own.
Well, Trump also did it was the most obvious strategy in the world. Like, I mean, it was just what
It didn't take a lot to think of.
any semi-intelligent person would react to
Yeah.
it the same way. Just like, no, just let him make
Just
an
let
ass of himself.
It just shows how utterly weak the Democrats are, and how Biden was not the man to run from the very beginning.
He should. I mean, it's the same thing we just talked about in France, where they kind of like, yes, it was a good thing that the far right didn't get in, but they also kind of did it in such a way where they just bought a little time and didn't actually fix any problems.
That's
It's
sort of
kind
the
of-
Democrats' motto. This
Yeah,
part.
it's just like, well, you'll get us elected and we'll delay the worst thing, not fix the worst thing. We'll just make sure it happens the next time
And
instead of this time.
And we'll embarrass ourselves and accomplish so little and materially make the situation worse so that people will be more ready and more desperate to vote for the right after we're done.
Which, it's not going to work because people are going to look at who's in power during that period when it gets worse.
Yep.
They're going to blame you.
That's always what happens. And then they're surprised that people would dare, go somewhere else. Yes, you piss people off enough, and you get to a point where it's not even about what's good or bad. It's just fuck the people that have made my life hard. And that's all people. At a certain point, that's all people start to care about.
At least it's sleepy ass dog.
Well, it's like the Tories in England. They're just melting down because that Reform UK party came and took a bunch of votes, and they're like, if this party didn't exist, we would have won. And it's like, those people who voted for that party straight up said, I would never vote for their Conservatives ever again. like, don't know that, but they view like voters as like pawns on a chessboard. Dramatic thing where it's just like, you get their vote. Like, sometimes it works out like that, but it can end.
I mean, that's absolutely what the Democrats did, and it backfired spectacularly.
They certainly thought that they could bring in even more of like the white upper middle class by trying to appeal to the never Trump Republicans and continue to do nothing for their working class minority base.
Yep.
And
Actively
not
supported things that the working class minority base were against.
and,
Well, remember
and
when,
not
like a
think
year
that-
into Biden's administration, they crushed that fucking railroad union strike.
and
Just fucking destroyed it.
right. And to not think that the most conservative voters in your coalition, who are the minority voters, they are not social liberals in the way that the like educated white base of the Democratic Party is. To think those people would not watch you screw them over completely, make their lives materially worse than when Trump was president, and not think that they would see the appeal of populism is the dumbest thing that I could possibly imagine.
Well, then you add to that, the whole Genocide Joe thing.
That's done a lot of damage. Who'd have thought supporting a genocide,
Why can't-
just letting it happen would
Why can't he just call for peace?
even if peace
Trump
doesn't
called-
happen, just
yeah,
saying,
just call
"Hey,
for
I
peace."
would like for this to
Trump-
happen."
Trump called for peace.
Yep.
It didn't affect him at all, and he has a much more pro-Israel base than Biden does.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Biden just call for peace?
Because he has to look strong on foreign policy.
Well, you don't look strong ever, dude.
Okay, possible. Or
No, he's good.
Tell me about the secret. What does Helga know? Oh, mein Junge. Bist du von der Front zurück? Ich hätte nie gedacht, dass ich dich wiedersehe.
Just
yeah.
Mein kleiner süßer Junge. Oh.
can't blame him.
Sorry,
Yeah,
old
poor
man.
bastard.
You mistake me for someone else.
Ich dachte, eine Sekunde lang.
Yeah, this is the guy I'm talking about. Doesn't that dude just look like BJ Blazkowicz?
Yeah, he does.
Like he's just straight up like.
Just dye his hair a little blonde, and there you go.
Yeah. And he was even in a movie where his hair was like a little bit more of a blonde not that long ago, and it was like even more just like, oh shit, yeah, like that. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
That's just BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, easy.
Right?
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Like this is straight up that character.
Ich weiß doch, wie ich dir durchs Haar gefallen bin.
You probably could make a good movie out of it.
Yeah, I think Wolfenstein would be a very easy video game adaptation to do right. I mean, as long as you see a bunch, especially with these newer ones.
They're already so like cinematic and have like such good character writing.
Oh, wrong button.
Slide.
Wesley, I tell you about Aunt Sarah. Diagnosed with dementia during college. Medication made her drowsy. Strange.
Oh shit, she was like 5 too.
Those eyes
Residential.
like dirty windows on some derelict shack.
I've always been really impressed by the writing in these games. Like they're way better than they need to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
It's a game about bonking Nazis over the head. You know, it doesn't need to be exactly award-winning dialogue heavy.
but like they like whoever I don't know who the scriptwriter is for these, but like or if it's the same person, but like BJ Blazkowicz's like monologues throughout these games. Oh, here we go. We found a bed.
There you go.
Should we fuck around with this or just keep going?
Up to you, man.
We can fuck around with it a little bit.
I mean, the game's
Oh,
pretty
it's a dog murder scene.
yeah, just what Sage ordered.
Fucking fuck these Nazi dogs, all right?
You know,
Sage is such a Michael Vick type. He murders dogs in his
Oh fuck you! Shit. Well, I think I'm gonna die because all I have is this knife now.
dog murder keeper.
Come on, stab it. Stab the dog. God damn it! What the hell?
It's only 1 pixel wide, so you
2D
can't hit
dog
it.
is kicking your ass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever.
You did great.
Don't you use some doing Grant me?
You said doing great.
Don't worry, Sage. You're cold as a gun.
Hey, fuck you. Let's just stab at each other.
Stab fight. That's good. You know, the original Wolfenstein actually got in trouble for having dogs in it.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, there was
Was
a big
it PETA?
controversy. Yeah, I don't know if it was PETA specifically, but there was generally a big controversy about, like, oh, you know, this game's teaching people to murder animals. And it's like, you know, they're Nazi attack dogs.
Yeah, right. It's like, sorry. Should people getting attacked by Nazi attack dogs just like let them kill them? Which seems like the argument you guys are making sometimes.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of weird, like, interviews, articles type things where id had to defend themselves for the accusations of, you know, being dog murderers or whatever. And they were like, guys, it's just a game. You know, some people shoot live squirrels. Why don't you go talk to them?
Right? Yeah.
Like, that was the exact
what's
example
that?
they gave.
I mean, the whole video game violence thing has always been so silly.
We still have that around for some reason.
Well, it's because there's still problems that can be scapegoated onto video games.
And a lot of old people
shit.
who don't understand, you know,
Oh,
how shit
no.
works. That you can't kill with a knife.
I can't kill that at all with what I have right now.
Yeah, you probably need, like, heavy weapons.
Yeah, that's some, like...
Jesus Christ. That's a big fucking dog.
So I guess that would be the first time he saw that.
Get fucked up the floor.
Yeah, just by walking around. Keep nervously checking to see if it's coming back.
The thing about Wolfenstein, too, is there's like a couple different tones you could go for with it that would still work. You know, you could go for a more dark and serious tone, like these games have. You could do more of an Indiana Jones type
shit.
thing.
Well, and the hell, they're the fucking Machine Games. The next game they're making is an Indiana Jones game.
Right.
What's the open one? Shit. Ah. How do I...
Wait.
Oh, right above. Okay, I see it. I do think the stealth in this one is better. But actually, the stealth is probably the best in this one, just because there's a decent chunk of it that's focused purely on it. And then versus the first game to the second game, I think the stealth is better in the first one. Just because I think the second game just treats its levels much more much more of like a, I don't know, straightforward, like shooter kind of level design.
Right.
That makes it hard to be stealthy in. So even though that second game has a bunch of stealth mechanics in it, I feel like they're not as useful in the second one.
Okay.
Do you see anybody? I don't see anybody.
Oh,
there's one guy there. Well, we killed the commander, so can't.
Another dude over there.
Shit.
Yeah, what else has been in the news lately? Oh, did you hear about in Russia they're basically just jailing any artists who have ever criticized the government ever?
I did see some individual arrests. I didn't realize it was like a mass arrest situation thing.
Well, you heard about those chicks who like they did some sort of play or something, and the play was specifically about like women being like tricked into marrying like terrorists in Syria, and like it was specifically about how like
there's another commander somewhere.
To the Russians.
Yeah.
But
fuck you.
Now they've been convicted of this play being like pro-terrorism, like anti-Russia, like that stuff. And it seems like the play isn't actually the reason that they got in trouble. It's sort of just the excuse. What actually got them in trouble is they wrote sort of poems or some shit that were anti-Putin.
Oh. Well, countries in the long-running wars always eventually clamp down on the populace.
Russia kind of did that before.
Inevitability. Well, I mean, Russia's a more naturally authoritarian state.
Shit. Man, I forget how spongy you are in this game. It's not like playing Doom.
But I mean, even you think about like in the U.S., the Espionage Act, and some of the ways that we behaved in the later stages of, I mean, the First World War to some extent, but especially towards the end of the Second World War.
Hell, even at the beginning of the Second World War, we were already tossing people in camps.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, considering the nature of modern warfare, you'll never be able to have like the founding fathers' vision of no standing army. But they wanted it specifically because you have an army you have an army, and if you're at war or even if you're at peace, you have this big old army. Eventually, it's going to be used against the populace.
Right.
Fortunately, now war is such a complicated business at such a gigantic scale that you have to have a standing army, and you even have to have a military-industrial complex to some extent.
You do.
You have to constantly pump out weapons.
And you also have to have, that sort of irregular online element to it as well, because so much of warfare now is dependent on, like, cyber warfare type stuff and on actors who can't really be easily tracked down by, like, the conventional state military.
Right.
So you need an online presence constantly, monitoring for them.
Yeah. Well, and then the problem with needing a military-industrial complex is it needs to be constantly running, which also calls for low-level conflicts and stuff like that keep the business empowered.
Because it's always got to be designed around the idea that it has to sustain itself.
Man, Alex, I'm telling you, you're gonna really like Metal Gear Solid as like a sci-fi series.
Oh, for sure.
That's kind of so much of what it's about.
It's the way of the world, man. There are few things that have a bigger impact on the way that events unfold in the modern world than the existence of the military-industrial complex.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's about that.
I think the only thing that could be compared to it is the position that the biggest commercial banks in the U.S. find themselves in vis-a-vis the Federal Reserve. I don't know if those are probably the only two things that have that level of power in the U.S.
I do find it interesting just how much like predictive sci-fi there was in like pop culture in like the 90s and early 2000s that absolutely told where things were going.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the latter stages of the Cold War kind of gave you a pretty good roadmap of where things are going. Like if you understood, like our intervention into Grenada, you could see bigger, crazy proxy wars
on the horizon,
coming in
for sure.
Horizon, and the military-industrial complex pushing for ever more conflict. What we did in Serbia was probably, I mean, that's later 90s. But
Right.
that told you everything you needed to know about where the U.S. was going.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That was one of the most pointless things we've ever done.
I mean, that's frequently referenced in a lot of that kind of writing time.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And, I mean, people in Kosovo wanted their independence. I don't begrudge the people in Kosovo their independence, but the only reason we cared about Kosovo's independence was we wanted to build a military...
God damn it.
We wanted a military base in the Balkans, and the Serbians are too close to the Russians to ever let us build it. So if we were able to make a little breakaway state, then we could build an air base in the Balkans. Kind of like the Kurds. Would we really care about the Kurds at all if they weren't the occasional convenient ally in the Middle East?
Well, we threw them away, so that answers that question.
Because they served their purpose.
Exactly.
Pretty sad, man.
Oh, come on.
I would highly recommend any country to never consider themselves to be a U.S. ally in any real way.
Yeah, they're useful, and then they're not, and then they die. That's basically our stance on allies. I mean, hell, we were almost ready to throw away the EU until the Ukraine thing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. I mean, I'm not saying leave NATO, but like Europe is gonna be politically irrelevant fairly soon.
Yeah, it's having its last gasp. Right
Yeah,
now.
our focus on Europe deprives us the opportunity to join the Asian century. Like we have a Pacific coast in this country. We have a chance to become part of the future by pivoting to Asia.
Well, especially since China is where most of the growth is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're our major competitor. We need to do something about that.
Right. And even though China, well, and also just like that that part of the world where all the growth is, because China's slowing down now, but that's because you're seeing the rise of Vietnam and Indonesia and India. I mean, that's just the part of the world that matters. Like,
So ironically, they're sort of rising because China is using them, for sweatshop labor and shit like that.
Yep.
Outsourcing.
Yep.
For a second, I was going to say, I thought I heard you say slut shop labor.
No, I did not say that.
Have you guys seen that Egg Slut restaurant?
What? Egg Slut? What are you talking about?
Egg Slut? It's a chain of breakfast sandwich restaurants.
Is this made by that Chicken and Beastars?
Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
It's a chain of... It's a popular chain of
called
breakfast sandwiches.
Egg Slut.
Called Egg Slut. I'll pull it up. I'll let you know how many locations. It's like a high-end breakfast.
Is it like breakfast at Hooters? What is this place?
Why is egg slut so expensive?
Why is it called egg slut?
I truly I'm just mystified by this.
Wikipedia for eggs. Is a sandwich restaurant chain with locations in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Tokyo, Seoul,
fuck you.
Kuwait, London, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
Global reach.
Known for its signature dish, the slut.
What?
What?
What the fuck?
Bro, what?
Is this run by the Scottish Crab from Aquaman? Like, what the fuck is this?
Egg slut's name refers to the popular phrase which developed among foodies in the mid-2000s that describes people who serve every dish topped by an egg. So I guess there are people who are just called egg sluts.
It's just going deeper and deeper. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
Why is that a thing?
Well, get out of here, you Nazi bitch.
Let's do that officer like summoning one, right?
Oh, hey. Yeah, somewhere around here.
I just don't know why any restaurant would have slut in its name. I'm surprised they can even get away with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's not exactly like a swear word,
Global-
right? So,
I mean,
Global
it's-
brand.
But like, who is gonna, turn to their family and go, "Hey, you want to go to egg slut tonight?"
let's all go be sluts for that.
Let's pound a couple sluts before we hit the
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to eat out a big slut.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but it's the name of the restaurant. It's an international chain. People spend unreasonable amounts of money on their sluts.
Some
That is
expensive
true.
sluts, apparently.
That is fucking true. Yeah, man, I went to Vegas. I lost all my money on this slut the other night.
Yeah?
There you are.
Dude, what kind of sandwiches they got?
Slut sandwich, apparently.
We're gonna order some food internationally here.
Let's call us the restaurant in Kuwait.
Yeah.
Grab the slut. That's their signature thing. Everything else is just a normal name. They got a salted chocolate chip cookie. They got truffle hash browns. They got an egg salad sandwich. Yeah, everything else is just a normal name.
Does sound fucking ritzy if they have truffle hash browns. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Yelp, look it up, and I'm gonna see what the prices on the menu are. Because I didn't eat it. Just walk past it.
Damn it, Alex! You're supposed to try. You're not supposed to just walk past the slots. You're supposed to try them all.
Yeah, you're a food guy, right? Like I expect you to.
I mean, like,
Probably
I
machine
just-
gun, but-
it's a
Oh.
breakfast. It's a breakfast sandwich, so I just didn't feel like it was that important.
But breakfast is the most important meal of the day,
Yeah, people say that.
for some reason.
I don't think it's technically true though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's been defunct.
It's just the thing they put on
Human
cereal
beings did not evolve it to eat at a specific time of day. It
No,
wasn't
no.
always food.
box. You evolved to
Yeah,
eat,
right.
Yeah, you evolved to eat when there was, food available.
Yeah, when
Stuff your
when you're
face
hungry.
you have to change.
I think the breakfast thing kind of evolved as more of like a farmer schedule.
Right, because you want to
Yeah.
eat before you spend a lot of day
Yeah.
doing physical labor.
Yeah, and you get up at like fucking 6 a.m.
Right. I will say I'm definitely someone that has a penchant for food that is considered to be breakfast food specifically.
Oh, sure, yeah, I love me some eggs and sausage and shit, but like,
$11.50 for a breakfast sandwich. Pretty
Better
cheap.
be a
how big is
baked
this?
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the
Well, it's
size.
the size of a breakfast. It's like an egg muffin.
That's not
fuck
very
that.
big.
That's tiny.
That's not very big.
I'd expect like a big ass, like fucking like pot belly like sandwich.
Because I'll eat I'll eat a big sandwich like that for breakfast.
Yeah.
Like an Italian
Yeah. Give me a good Italian sandwich.
blind.
You should go on Grinder and see if they got any.
I'm looking for a big Italian.
Just go on Grindr and just make your whole profile. Just read a menu.
Lot of men in boxers that have sandwiches.
Not greasy, but not too greasy.
Just a little grease. Easy on the oil.
Yeah, I'm looking for more of an I'm walking here, not so much of a forget about it.
I can't remember which roast it was, but maybe John Stamos was being roasted, but they were like, you could wring out John Stamos' pillowcase and power your car for a year.
That's pretty good.
Nazi in there, set you free. Then we get the hell out of this place and contact Kessler in the village tavern.
Man, looks fancy.
Yeah.
Diving on stuff.
I am glad that in all the PC stuff that white people are still allowed to just like rag on each other for different stereotypes. I'd be pretty sad if that was gone. You couldn't just like stereotype Germans and Italians and stuff anymore. I feel like we'd lose.
I'll tell you one thing about Italians, man. They love Italian stereotypes.
Well, I mean, not a good old Fredo.
Well, that's why he's afraid of.
Hey, you can't say that, man. That's
Actually, I technically would be qualified. So it's close.
Which just means that you're self-hating.
That's the N-word for Italians.
God, I
Like
fucking
a
hate.
reference to a movie from the 70s.
Yeah, that was long after Italians were actually being discriminated against.
Yeah, Italians were just considered white.
They had
long before that.
They had plenty of words from back then that were used to describe Italians that were much better candidates for being the N-word for Italian.
Oh yeah, no, there are slurs for Italian, but Fredo's not one of them.
No, nobody gives a fuck about Fredo.
Well, especially now that he's lost his show.
Hey, he has a show.
Does he?
On
what, OnlyFans?
On whatever that channel Piers Morgan's on.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans.
Yeah. You know how mad Piers Morgan gets when people tell him he looks like the old lady from Home Alone 2?
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, I fucking hate Piers Morgan, so yeah, it's a good thing.
Oh, I do.
I'm glad.
Piers Morgan's one of the worst people to ever.
He's always
live.
been trash.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I don't
Just
know.
to ever be alive.
He's like a contrarian in like occupying like the worst spectrum of the ideological scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I that guy will change his opinions all the time. Basically, I don't know, to be antagonistic and unlikable.
Like it's like he gets off on it.
There's no ideological.
I mean, that's kind of what he's
consistency.
made his entire career based on.
I mean, I guess if that's what makes you money is disagreeing with literally everyone about everything, no matter
Well,
what.
I mean, like, how do you live your life being like, man, people despise this? I love it. Like,
I don't know. Some people genuinely get off on
There's
that.
a lot of people like that, if we're honest.
I don't know, man.
It's like a hobby.
It's worse. It's
Or a
worse.
career,
I
in this
hate like finger in the wind, like opportunistic people who just will like adopt whatever's popular and just like. But I think it's worse to just be that guy that hates everything everybody likes because you like hating stuff that people like. Like,
So that's how you show that you're cool, you know, that you're an intellectual.
yeah, it's worse.
You know, you're not like
I'd
this
rather
well.
people were. I'd much prefer a lemon to somebody that just hates things.
Well, he's the person who would jump off a cliff because no one else does. Right? Like that's.
I can respect it. I can respect.
Yeah.
I can respect. I can't respect it, but like
No.
I can more easily tolerate people lining up at the cliff
If
than
everybody.
the one guy being like, "You guys are such pussies. You are gonna jump off the cliff.
Well, I'm
jumping
gonna
off
jump
the
off.
cliff. That's worse. God, how much I hate George Morgan. I haven't had to be exposed to him because he's on some irrelevant channel that nobody watches. Just like I haven't really had to be exposed to Cuomo.
That's true.
Did you ever watch the podcast where it was like Dave Smith and Cuomo and they were talking about COVID and Cuomo was trying to pretend like he didn't say all the stuff that he said during COVID and they just kept on pulling up video compilations of it.
That's amazing.
I feel like I never said that. Or like, because he wouldn't admit that he lied about Joe Rogan eating horse paste during the pandemic. Well, he's talking about, he's like, yeah, no, I take ivermectin. Yeah, well, my doctor recommended it to me.
That's just the thing now. Like, everybody on every political spectrum just doesn't give a shit of the fact that there's video evidence of them,
it's crazy,
doing and saying shit they later say they didn't do or say.
Part of me wonders if they genuinely don't remember, and because they're just so driven by the moment that they honestly don't know.
Maybe.
Well, they just lie so often.
That it's like, what's another lie?
Yeah.
And they came up in a world where you weren't held accountable for what you said.
Right. So
they just can't adapt to the fact that, like, yeah, if you said it, especially on live TV, someone's going to be able to find it later.
I think a lot of them also just think that they're so much smarter than the average person. They're like, well, the average person can, check anything I say. I just say whatever I want.
Right? Yeah, because what are Fredo Cuomo's Fredo Cuomo's qualifications for having a TV show?
His brother was a senator.
Related to politicians.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Yeah, that's all it takes to get anywhere in the country nowadays.
I also like how at the beginning of Joe's presidency, everybody was like, yeah, it's a little sus what Hunter's been up to, but
it doesn't really matter.
He's not involved in policy. Like, he's not. And now it's like, Joe Biden only talks to two people. One of them's Hunter, and he's at every meeting. And it's like, okay, well...
So it sounds like he's running the country.
It sounds like he's kind of running the country. And that he has access to a lot of information that his paymasters might be interested in. How scary is that, man? It's like the final days before the murder of a Roman emperor. It's just like, yeah, he's only talking to his wife and his kids. It's like,
literally no one else is allowed to speak to him.
It sounds an awful lot like the number of historical figures that ended up being violently deposed.
Yeah, I mean, how long is it going to be before we hear that he's been, murdered on the toilet or something?
I mean, I feel like he could just die on the toilet at any moment, too.
Yeah.
But is he really using the toilet?
Does he ever get there in time?
Toilet is what he calls a podium.
Yeah. Okay, no, nothing over here.
But they didn't at least put, a power up or something.
Nazi literally being a grammar Nazi. Fuck you. Piece of shit, dog.
I think Sage wishes that more dogs were Nazis.
No, I just think the Nazi ones do deserve to die.
I just think that, if more dogs were Nazis, then you could feel justified in killing more of them more often.
I feel justified in killing the ones that are literal fucking monsters, like in Resident Evil.
Those were nice dogs.
Those were monsters.
They were just puppies. Smell a dead plant. They were not a threat to anybody.
No, they were
Innocent
monsters. No! Those are fucking monsters, dude.
I think
They gaslight me.
You're just protecting, dude.
No! I'm not a zombie.
No, I'm saying you're a monster.
No.
What? Looks like we may be now at the absolute break the glass moment for the Democrats now.
Oh yeah.
Well, what are they going to break the glass to get? So it doesn't seem like they have
Are they
anything.
gonna break the glass
Well,
to
they're-
get Hillary? Like
Well,
it's like when there's a fire in the room, so you break the glass to pull a bomb out.
I mean, they are. I mean, at least trending on Twitter right now is all the connections with Trump and Epstein, which was a.
I mean, there are legitimate connections.
Yeah,
you
there
can
are,
bring that
there
up.
are.
It's just that the Democrats are going
But
to be stabbing
that's what I'm-
themselves with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it's a can of worms that they're opening because if we start having a real conversation about
I mean,
it,
that's a sword of Damocles hanging over the entirety of Washington.
yeah. So if it's getting desperate enough now, I mean, we'll wait to see if the mainstream media. That's when you'll know if they're committed to it or if it's just people online trying to
Right. Because that's if
trying
that gets
to find an attack vector. But if they go into that, I mean, that's a pox on everybody's house. Dude.
Oh yeah, that's all pure chaos.
that's just all blackmail on every politician. It's all going to flood out, and everybody's going down. And then we may not have a country.
It's like catacombs and bones.
Yeah,
this is
Nice.
ossuary.
I love it.
fucking.
You know, you can go on tours in like catacombs in some parts of Europe.
Oh yeah, Paris has like
French ones,
6
yeah.
miles of them.
That's like if I did ever go to France, that'd be like the number one thing I'd be most interested in going to see.
I don't think. I do think the ones in France are the only ones that are so much like that.
Right.
Like just huge mounds of bones. I mean, catacombs just basically means a sewer system.
Yeah.
Or like underground tunnels. But yeah, definitely the ones in Paris are just miles and miles of bones stacked up like that.
I believe there are some crazy ones in Eastern Europe too, but I don't know if those are available for like public tours.
There's a insane church in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
That's all made out of bones. Like
Yeah,
the
that'd
whole
be cool.
church has like chandeliers and walls and just everything.
Nice.
It's pretty wild looking. I think they just call it the Bone Church.
Went down to the Bone Church. Cut myself a time. Honestly, that sounds like something.
It does. It does have that feel. Huh. Wait, where am I supposed to go then?
How do you think it felt? for
Also,
people
just sounds like something an unscrupulous priest might say.
to-
That too.
Come on, let's go down to the Bone Church.
How do you think it felt for people to be like putting that church together out of all these bones?
I mean, a lot of the times it's because they would dig up cemeteries and they would just retrieve all the bones. I don't know how like family members would feel about.
It's just weird, you know. You're like, oh well, we need to build a church, but we don't have enough wood. How about we build it out of people?
Well, at the church on the outside is wood. It's just entirely decorated on the inside with bones.
I'm struggling a little bit to know where I'm meant to be
You
going.
can't climb that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're not supposed to jump on those platforms to the side.
Maybe? I just didn't think I could.
Because it looked like there was a power up on one of those.
There's
Like,
not like a
health track or
wall
something.
you can climb or anything.
Maybe you need to get your pipes out.
Yeah, that might be it.
Well, yeah, start laying some pipes.
Climb back up there here.
Smash that fucking doors.
Not those ones. Those are knife proof. The other boards right under them. Those I could do that.
You think they had a church unveiling for that back in the day? They're like, everybody, the new church is opening, and they just like open it up, and everybody's like, what the fuck? You can't jump over those, I don't think.
I'm sure.
What's on the other side?
You jump on that. There you
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure it was framed as like, oh, you know, these are all this is built on the bones of martyrs, so holy, you know, don't question it. Pope says it's good. That kind of thing.
I don't.
Hmm.
I'm not entirely sure. Can I go around?
Yeah, we haven't tried this yet, have we?
I was going to, but it didn't seem like it allowed me to. I think that's too thin to...
Yeah, it might. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, you gotta keep going. Break that, maybe. No? Can you crouch?
No, apparently not.
What the fuck? Can you go around the other
maybe
way?
that window. Can you get up to that window? Is the wall climbable?
No, unfortunately.
No, you can't get up there?
Nope.
Okay.
Try going the other way.
Nope.
Well,
God damn it.
I got no idea. Maybe this will be a shorter stream than we thought.
We're not getting stuck here.
I don't know, man. This is cold as a walk-in fridge.
It's not that cold yet. I fucking refuse.
I'll give you a little bit longer before
That was 4 hours, alright.
praise the grains of your performance here.
Yeah, we'll wait to see how
Is there anything in...
How you should do it.
There you
Oh,
go.
God damn it.
how cold your gun is. Right?
Well, stop counting, because we just figured it out.
We figured out something, but not everything. I think they're just casually putting helmets on the skulls.
My God, nobody heard that.
Must have been the wind.
Wind, you know. Whack, whack. Sometimes the wind just goes whack, whack.
What have you done?
Just now. The sound of me beating them to death and stabbing them in the face.
Oh,
like, nobody
yeah.
picked... Like, no, the other guy right here didn't notice that at all.
It's like an Elder Scrolls game where you got stealth all the way up and you can shoot someone in the face with an arrow and they go, oh, I wonder what that was.
God, you could break those games so easily. So, Alex, you actually played
The first one?
the New Order for yourself, yeah.
It's a pretty incredible game, man. I did enjoy the leap into the future because that just the whole other world and the high technology with the lead
Yeah.
working.
And this is like a brief prequel,
Yeah.
and then the true sequel is
That
more
doubles
of
down
that.
on
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. 'Cause
Doubles down on that way more.
Visuals in the game are crazy.
Oh, dude, I can't wait! I can't wait for us to do the new Colossus too, then, because that game has got some wild things to look at in it. So that's on a wall that we can climb. So.
Yeah, it's got kind of the appearance of like a pale, shriveled ball head. That guy couldn't figure out how his gun worked.
He had no fucking idea. I guess I can use dual wield silence pistols. Can I climb over that? No.
That's where he came from, I think. The hatch is open.
Mm-hmm. But also, you probably have to get in another
I came,
way. If
I
you
came
do.
from here just now.
But I mean, I think earlier you
I
passed
take
by
the
there.
elevator.
Did we?
Yeah.
Huh. Can't fuck with the equipment at all.
Yeah, there's an open door over there, so I think we gotta go around somewhere.
You fucked the elevator somehow? Is there a hatch? There you
Oh,
go.
goddamn it, yeah, there is.
The wall you can climb.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to this Indiana Jones game from the studio, but at the same time, I can't wait for them to be done with that so that they can get around to making a proper third Wolfenstein game, because they're supposed to cap it out as a trilogy.
Nice.
And,
It's been a while since
It has.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fucking decade since 2
Wow.
in just a couple of years.
That went well. pretty sure you reloaded that.
This feels like Castle Return to Castle Wolfenstein, right? Like this straight up feels like the
Definitely.
oh shit.
Yeah, was it Machine Games? It was also talking about doing some sort of Quake stuff.
They did the re-releases that had those new levels.
Yes.
So
Well,
right?
Night Dive did the re-releases, but the Machine Games did the new levels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They did like sort of expansion packs on both the original and on Quake 2.
So they've gone out of their way to make new Quake content. Oh, hi there. Can you head out?
And you know, if they're supposedly coming to a close on the Wolfenstein stuff and on the Doom stuff, that's the next logical place to go.
Well, we did think that Doom was done with
Yeah.
Eternal, but now we got the Dark Ages coming out as Mick Gordon definitely isn't going to be a part of it.
I can't blame him. He got fucked.
You know what happened with that, Alex? Oh, man. So he was the composer for the music for... Did he do 2016 as well?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And he'd worked in Doom Eternal, which is great, right? All those killer fucking soundtracks.
One of the best fucking soundtracks in like modern gaming.
Oh, easily. But Bethesda basically like pushed the like album releases of the music like separately from the games themselves. Oh, he's just really standing there. They pushed those out before they were totally finished, and so like the master version of them is like this like weird unfinished, not that great of audio quality thing. And then, okay, what else did they do? They did something else that like did they like stiff him on the like work?
Yeah, they were trying not to pay him for part of it.
Yeah, they tried to just like stiff him on the job. They fucked him over on like the actual release of the
I remember
the music.
them also trying to like take the rights away from him at one point.
Yeah, they were like really.
They did a lot of bad stuff, and he was pissed. And it was a very public stink that kind of soured a lot of people on those games, even though they're great games. A lot of people are like, fuck Bethesda, you know.
Yeah.
Greedy bastards.
So,
I mean, and I you know, to be fair, we already were kind of on the fuck Bethesda train for a long time. I've been on fuck Bethesda since Fallout 3.
Yeah, me too.
Or Oblivion was before that.
I don't remember which came first. They came out around the same time.
Yeah, since those two, I've kind of been on a fuck Bethesda wavelength of mentality.
Yeah. And to be honest, you know, Bethesda's... They've had problems even before that. I mean, Alex, you want to do bad games on this channel. You ever want to play, like, fucking, like, The Elder Scrolls Redguard or whatever the fuck it was?
We're talking about 1 and 2?
Oh, I mean, like, some of the weird, like, the spin-off games they made that weren't even part of the main franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Hey, what's up, Sarah?
What's
Welcome in.
up?
Blame Tim.
It's his fault.
Tim's easy to blame.
That's
It's easy to blame.
Yeah, they made some utterly terrible piece of shit spin-off games that are, like, infamous for how bad they were.
They make the other stuff look good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tim was a major part of Bethesda. really brought that company to its knees.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Media Ulysses are the people over here that have basically are like the only good game the only game we really like from Bethesda ever has been Morrowind.
Yeah, that was a legitimately good game, which is, of course, why the people who made it probably don't work there anymore.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Can I not go across? Yeah. Damn it, Tim.
You pull that lever.
I did pull that lever. It opened half the door over here.
That's inconvenient.
There's another door somewhere. Oh, hey. Oh, that's what I did. Yep. It's okay, because whoop.
That didn't work. That would have been an impressive
Yeah,
throw.
you'd have to fight the arm.
Gonna be here but lurking. Oh, no worries,
Yeah,
sir. We
sure.
appreciate the lurk. We'll just be making our dumb commentary as normal.
Yeah, bullshitting like always.
Yeah.
If there's anything I'm qualified to do.
Put that on a resume.
Yeah.
Certified bullshitter.
Yeah, I can't do much in the way of work, but I can bullshit for you. God damn it.
To be fair, that's what a lot of work is these days.
That's also a good point.
Especially now that we're in the era of AI. You know. Bullshitter is probably going to be the only position not filled by AI.
There's going to prompt engineering is going to become quite the field, which I feel like is borderline bullshitting.
That's AI assisted bullshitting.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, you're hiring people who know how to describe things.
Which it's not. You don't need a lot of qualification.
No. I'm sure there are people who are better at it than others, but that's been one of the jobs. They're like, yeah, AI's creating new jobs. You know, there's plenty of jobs out there for prompt engineers. I don't know if they call them engineers.
I would not call it an engineer. I know how to do it. It's not hard.
A fucking monkey could do it.
Yeah, anybody could do that. Like, I guess the only real difference, I guess, that you could even try and say there is do you have an interesting creative idea to feed the AI in the first place?
Well,
but the AI is still doing.
I'm sure part of it, like, to some extent, they will need people who have a lot of industry-specific knowledge and lingo, because it's not all just going to be, like, AI-generated art. They're going to be looking for people who can write prompts to have AIs code.
Yes.
Websites or automate certain things that you need some expertise in. Like if you're going to automate medical billing, you should probably have some understanding of accounting and of the medical fields to some extent. But otherwise, yeah, you're just writing, saying, I want this to add, like, I want this to do this, to do this.
What's that one?
Over here?
Yeah.
This is where we came from. So we went like this super long way around. And then...
But yeah, you certainly don't need to be an engineer to do that.
I have a suspicion that a lot of those jobs are going to be the ones where people just give it to their kids. You know, you own the company, so you make your son the prompt engineer.
Probably, honestly.
I suppose the only prompt engineers who are going to need to be actual engineers are people who are writing prompts for engineering firms.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll probably just use the engineers that they already have working there for that.
Right.
They'll already know everything they need to know.
Right.
China is leaping ahead on those humanoid robots, man.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Are they dancing yet?
Yep.
Sick.
One of them walked the Great Wall of China, didn't fall over.
Have they taught them to sing like the Chinese translated version of Do You Love Me?
Haven't seen it
Do
yet.
you love me? Do you love me?
But they'll be mass producing them by next year. They had a showcase this year. They got some pretty impressive ones.
What are
Still
they
a
going
little
to?
slow, but
What are they going to use them for?
factory work.
Okay.
Replace their aging population.
They're going to just have no people.
Do all the social care and stuff like that for the elderly.
Man, how crazy is that? I mean, like, 20 years ago, China was all on that sweatshop labor. Now they're like, yeah, just put robots in there.
Oh, they are running out of people to labor in the sweatshops.
Well, a lot of people don't want to.
Okay, I was supposed to swim over, I guess.
They don't have the population.
I don't know what people are going to do for jobs in China.
China's the fastest aging population in world history.
Yeah.
Average age is like already 40.
That's crazy.
That's what happens when you have the one-child policy for so long.
Yeah.
They really fucked themselves there.
Well, and it is just the problem of advanced economies right now.
True.
Because all the advanced economies decide to serve their capital class instead of build a future for the next generation. So
why didn't he fire at me?
Who wants to have kids when it's basically unaffordable?
I mean,
you can't buy a big enough house.
Yeah.
It's just
Been
worried about
designed to
feeding
be
yourself.
unaffordable.
Yeah.
Shockhammer.
Nothing symbolized the death of Western civilization like the whole DINK thing.
DINK?
DINK stands for double income, no kids. So
Even with 2 incomes, you can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. You gotta almost wonder if that's.
But
like
it's also being like sold as this like super luxurious lifestyle.
Yeah,
Like,
you
can
get
do
all your
whatever-
time to yourself.
Except you have to work though.
Right, well, that's the other thing.
But just you'll have all this extra money to eat at nice restaurants and go on vacation.
I mean, I guess that is nice if you don't want kids.
Yeah.
What about
The problem is a lot of people are like
they can't even
in their-
afford to go to restaurants or go on vacation even with that.
but they also people get into like their mid 30s, late 40s, and they're like, "Oh, I want kids."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's too late. You know, now you just thought about who's going to be there when you die, and you just realize it's going to be nobody.
People don't. I mean, we live in the world where it's just so about like
You
instant
do not want to be.
gratification.
I'll tell you.
People just don't think about the future.
I'll tell you, the number one type of person I don't want to be is the old person with no kids who just gets stuck at a home and has like an assigned caseworker from the government making sure I'm not dead.
Or well, it won't be the government by that point. It'll be some corporate for all.
Yeah,
give a shit.
They've also proven that, like, I mean, not all, because most nursing homes and assisted living is privately owned, but specifically the ones that are owned by private equity have significantly shorter lifespans.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
yeah.
they don't give a fuck.
Oh, they're just grinding it to cash.
Just grind those old people up.
Just take some life insurance policies out on them and poison them or something.
Oh, yeah, to poison them, just don't take care of them. They'll be dead.
You could just be like Delta.
Old people are like plants.
You can just be like Delta and serve them like food.
That's true.
You guys heard about that?
I didn't hear that.
I did not hear that.
Oh, Delta's serving people moldy ass like fungus food now.
Really?
Yeah, like black mold and shit.
On purpose?
They claim that it was a supplier issue that they were unaware of, but I don't know how all these people served these meals on this plane and presumably cooked them on the plane without noticing the obvious patches of mold. What gets even weirder is a bunch of people actually ate them, even though they have obvious patches of mold. Just stupidity all around.
Well, airlines, man, they are getting bad, man. They're starting to skimp out on everything. It's like you don't get a meal on an 8-hour flight. It'll be longer than that on a lot of airlines.
Remember when, like, flying, well, before we were alive, was, like, a really nice, fun thing to do? Like, just the act itself.
We were alive for some of it, but definitely
Well, like in the,
not that we can remember.
I think Sage means in like the
You mean like
old
the 60s where
yeah.
you wear like
Yeah.
a suit?
Yeah, where it was
Yes.
like a fancy thing.
It was like a luxury in and of itself just
Yeah.
to go on
And
a
they
plane.
had enormous amounts of leg room.
And you get like a
some of them,
four-course meal.
Yeah, some of them even were like table seating,
Yeah.
like where there's a
Yeah.
table in
Yeah.
the middle and two.
They bring
seats
you an
opposite.
entire fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Granted, it cost a lot. So.
Yeah.
But there was that period where we had kind of a happy medium, where it was affordable, but also you got decent treatment.
Yeah, in the 90s, flying was pretty nice in the 90s. People used to look forward to going to the airport. The person who dropped you off would park for free and then go eat in the airport with you because they could go wait with you at your gate.
Because there wasn't-
Took off because there wasn't TSA.
So, I almost said Lovecraftian, not dystopian. Dystopian security measures.
I mean, we're good.
Sometimes that shit is Lovecraftian, man. I tell you about when I went through the body scanner coming back from Vegas, and
Oh, I've had to go through that thing.
it showed. But when
Back when I
I went through, it had a big red square right over my crotch,
Uh,
like the warning square.
okay.
Like,
What, were you smuggling too much dick into the country or something?
I don't
What was
know,
going on?
but it meant that I had to get the
Did you have a
dick.
cock ring
I had
on?
to get
Fine.
I had to get the dick specific pat down.
Lucky you.
Wow.
Literally, the guy was like, "All right, grab your front two belt loops and pull up." So I'm sitting here giving myself a wedgie while he runs the
Wow.
outside of his hands up and down my thighs, and like, it's like I don't like this.
Do you think anybody does that intentionally? They like put some
Yes.
some key down their pants, and then they're like, "Oh, Mr.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. TSA guy, you need to inspect me."
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. I do wonder sometimes, like, Everything
don't have a
listens
lot
to
of
you
help for
now.
this.
I've said some pretty unflattering things about the government and the TSA specifically. Sometimes I wonder if you're not just on a list and like, I'll give him a dick square. Teach him a lesson. I don't know that for a fact, honestly, but it
You'd
feels
think
that
giving
way.
them a dick square would just make the problem worse. They'd just bitch more.
Make me, yeah, but if I already hate the government, then it's going to make life inconvenient.
I mean, that's it. You have any grenade?
One.
I think that was behind it.
Oh well. Just shoot him in the knee. He can't defend himself so well. There's that angle.
That was fight stuff.
Do you have anything more heavy duty?
Yeah.
I used all my shotgun ammo already. But there's a little
Okay.
health.
Not enough to sustain you through the fight until you know.
I think you got
Oh,
it.
you got him. Okay, cool.
But no.
So hard to judge when those guys are actually die.
Yeah. Nice.
Eat a dick, Nazi bitch.
Yeah, I mean, and flying wasn't so bad even like before COVID. Like, yeah, it was kind of shit, but like it was tolerable and like it was cheap enough where it was like fine.
It was not the reason that you went somewhere. It was never for the flight
Yeah.
itself, but like it was like whatever. I mean, it's just a transportation. Like nowadays, I'm like fuck. Yeah, I will avoid getting on a plane at all costs if I can help it.
Yeah, because now it's overpriced. It's actively
They rape
shit.
you.
They poison you with bad food.
they poison you and rape you. I mean, really, the TSA security, those pat downs are basically just like government sanctioned sexual assault. Abandon that anyway. I don't mean I got the easy security because I worked at the airport, so I got to go through the very much easier, simpler employee lines. I didn't have to deal with as much of that stuff, but I watched a lot of it, and it is basically all it is.
Right, just grab your shit.
Yeah. It's just like yeah. Huh. Alright, and
Yeah, I mean, the flying is becoming more and more like getting on the city bus, except you pay way more.
right. Well, I mean, if
At least the
you
bus has leg room.
it's elsewhere, opens elsewhere. Yeah, right. Yeah, bus. Yeah, the bus at least has some legroom. Here, I must be missing something in this. No?
I hear there's increasingly sort of
Oh, God damn it!
a movement to make it so that fat people have to buy 2 tickets.
I mean, if you're taking up 2 seats, man.
There's a lot of people who are real pissed after having to share a seat. And that's great.
It is something to have somebody's like sticky, sweaty flesh just pressed against you and
For
have
8 hours at a time. Yeah.
I've actually never.
Me either, thankfully.
I've flown
It
next to
happens,
people.
though.
I've
Yeah.
flown next to people that are bigger, but I mean, you have to be
You have to be
pretty
Yeah, you have to be
large to
huge.
spill it.
Well, that's why I laugh at the body positivity thing, because the people who are like just a little bigger, but it's still totally reasonable, they're not uncomfortable to be around like that to
No.
begin with. The only people that get complained about are the people who weigh 600 pounds and are actually like physically unpleasant to be touching.
And who you can't really avoid because,
Yeah, you can't. You like it's like that shit's just right there. You can't. Like no, those people should have to pay for 2 seats. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Sage, you're just fat phobic.
That's a made up nonsense word.
You're just disrespectful of their medical necessity.
Medical necessity. It's fucking medical necessity is to put the fucking cake down.
Well, maybe they needed to eat that cake.
I'm sorry, if you've got like, if you need to eat, if you need sugar to manage like your blood sugar or something, you could like keep a couple candy bars on you. You don't need an entire cake for that.
You know, I've actually met people who were like that, and they're actually usually skinny as fuck.
That would be type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is from weight. Type 1 diabetes can happen to you regardless of how big you are. And type 1, because the thing about type 2 diabetes is if you lose weight, you can basically make it go away.
Right, because I know you get it because you exceed a certain weight threshold usually.
Well, and it's the way your body's because of the weight, it can't process things the way it's supposed to. Whereas type 1 diabetes is like there's something genetic going on that causes that like your body is just not producing what it needs to produce. And losing weight's never going to do anything about type 1.
No, that's genetic. But I mean, once you have type 2, there's nothing you can do. You can lose.
Yeah, you can. You can lose. I mean,
you lose all the weight.
You will technically have it, but if you lose enough weight, the actual issue it's causing in your body just stops being a problem. You have to be careful, and you might need to monitor things, right? Like still monitor blood sugar, but like it's. I mean, you can mostly not have to deal with it that much.
Because I knew a kid who had type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, that's like a permanent, lifelong. There's nothing you can do to make that.
So it's
less of a problem.
But then he didn't have to worry as much about what he ate anyway because he was in good shape.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if he decided to go on a sugar binge, he would be in deep trouble. I feel like type 2 people would still be that way, even if you got ripped and in shape. Because your body stops producing insulin, right?
Yeah, it does, but like. It's just not like as much of a permanent degree. Like your body can regulate if you get a lot of the weight off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my understanding is it was more like when your body has been sort of overloaded by all the stuff.
Yeah, I thought you kind of just exhaust your insulin production system, like you force it to go into overdrive and then it just shuts down.
I mean, I do think you could probably cause it to be that severe, but I think that's not necessarily like the average.
I guess I thought that was literally what diabetes was you just overclock your insulin system.
I mean, it's essentially what it is, but I think you can bounce back some.
It might also depend on
maybe not permanently or maybe not completely, but
it might also depend on like how much you sort of go all in on that.
That's also true. Right. That's also fair. I mean, hey, correct us in the comments if you think.
Yeah, I mean, we're not medical professionals.
We are definitely not medical professionals on this channel.
We're not really professionals in any sense.
It's been a while since I've said this on a stream, but my advice to the audience of this show is don't really take anything we say seriously.
If I say something and you're like, that's interesting, Google it before you tell other people.
That's good advice for anything that any of us say.
Yeah, don't fucking... Yeah,
there's a high probability I'm misremembering or mixing two facts I heard together.
Yes.
I do my best.
Yeah, we don't want to be...
I'm never out and out intentionally lying, but I still don't.
That doesn't mean
a
we can't
reliable source of information.
We're not as bad as CNN, but doesn't mean we're perfect.
Yeah, we definitely have a better track record.
The least trusted name in news. That was so funny after the debate. Just all of them just being like, just horrified at Biden's performance. Just being like, guys, you are hyping it up on the way into this debate.
Yep. That still cracks me up, though, when they're like, Biden's goals for the night are to remain upright.
They did say that. They did say that was like one of the, like as long as he can remain upright.
Just stay awake. That's all he's got to
I
do.
just love that they were setting the standards so low, and Biden still managed to shock them. Not
just
that
not meet the standard.
Not that he didn't meet the standard or that he underperformed a little bit. They were in tears at the end of the debate. Yeah, holy shit. I do think people are right. People are right. This is going to be the most impactful debate on a presidential election in American history. It'll blow the Nixon Kennedy debates out of them in terms of impact. And what's funny is we had been having a long-running discussion in this country about how debates were basically irrelevant and they didn't matter and they never have any impact on it.
Then Biden comes along.
It's like, I'm gonna make it matter. I'm gonna make it matter, Jack.
Just not the way he thought.
Well, to be fair, he probably didn't think.
No.
He probably didn't really have any thoughts about it.
He sort of staggered out there.
I have seen a number of memes from other countries about totally, irrelevant topics using Joe Biden at the debate and just how confused he was as just the meme.
That's global. It's not even in this country. It's everywhere.
I saw a meme about people who learned Spanish online or whatever, visiting Guatemala or something, and just how different the Spanish they speak is, and how your textbook Spanish is basically worthless. And it was just using Joe Biden just staring dead-eyed back and forth from the debate as the meme. I was like, it's bad when international audiences are just like, that's what confusion looks like. That is the essence. That is the essence of confusion, right?
Yeah, I know he's being memed in China hardcore now.
Yeah. I mean, he fucking deserves it.
Man.
But the whole world was laughing at you.
I thought it was bad enough when there were Italian sketches and stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Meme for the whole world.
Well, it's what happens when you put a dementia patient in charge of the country.
I also just like how we're having this conversation about how should Biden be running for re-election? Everybody's like, yeah, he's clearly not with it anymore. Literally nobody's like, is it a problem that he is the current president of the United States?
Yeah, right. It's not just about re-election.
As we teeter on the brink of World War III, is it okay that he's currently
because it's not.
Yeah, but nobody's asking. Nobody cares. It's all about the election. Nobody cares about the fact that we're in the most dangerous time in world history.
Hey,
oh, hey. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Getting that little crossover.
Yeah. Little Doom Demon.
Oh, this is that second in command guy's personal. This is his room. So I guess he's a fan of demons, which makes sense.
Yeah, that checks out.
God, can you imagine sleeping next to that?
Ugh.
Come on. I mean, I know it's probably a very modern thing for me to.
I mean, that is realistic. The SS did do that.
Well, you know what? They're German. They probably loved it.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably considered an amenity. You use the toilet is next to the bed.
All right. That's locked off. Oh, wait, no. That's just that room again. Can I... Is this something I'm meant to pick up in here? That's more significant.
There you go. Hamlet?
Oh, okay. It's just that putting it in place opens the secret pathway.
I feel like
Oh, this is optional now.
Oh, fuck.
Well, I found an optional.
With stuff you can't pick up.
I'm full. I'm full on everything. Okay.
Of course.
Alas, poor Yurik. Oops.
I think carefully as to. This is the fucking photo of a German Shepherd framed on his desk.
He really likes the dog.
Ugh. the fuck am I doing now?
Does that make him like your major enemy, Sage, if he's a dog lover?
That's not what makes him my enemy. Being a Nazi is what makes him my fucking enemy.
Nazis did love dogs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. Look, I like dogs.
You and Hitler have something in common.
Okay, well, that goes for both of you too. Then.
Yes.
So I guess what he gets for not paying any attention.
I just love the image just running right up. Dude, with shotgunning in his head. The other dude's just staring like, what?
Just no idea what happened. Machine gun back on. Oh, it's a sniper. Yeah, I love those fucking glory kills. These games have, like, they're not maybe as good as the Doom ones, but this game's actually has some really good glory kill stuff in it, too.
It doesn't incentivize it quite the way that Doom did either.
No, if anything, it's like a last-ditch, like, they're getting close to you kind of thing, rather than a... Because these games are much more intending for you to play them from afar.
Yeah.
They don't want you to go right up to the enemy.
Sometimes they do it as a reward for stealth game.
That's true. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, Doom kind of refined that shit.
Oh shit. Go down.
Yeah.
Good shots for everybody.
Going there.
It's not. Really not. That shit. Reload.
It is interesting how they sort of found a middle ground between the regenerating health that was trendy at the time, with also having health pickups that matter.
Yeah, because your health will regen to like a quarter. Oof, there we go. Yeah, it'll regen to like a quarter, or whatever the quarter
Yeah,
closest to is.
Because this is still well in the era of, like, hide behind a wall until you're fully at health.
Yeah. This really got games to stop doing that. Like, I'd say the success of this is one of the reasons why that's not, like, the common mainstream anymore. Or at least not everything, anyway.
Right. Because when this came out, this was still, like, the height of, like, Gears of War type shit, wasn't it?
Well, this was 2014. I feel like Gears of War's time was kind of already fading.
Okay.
But I do think Halo and Call of Duty were still kind of at the top of their game.
You don't more ammo for that.
I know, it's a great gun.
Yeah, what else has been happening? Dumb shit has been going on.
Well, it never really stops going. Sometimes it's like, it's almost a matter of, I like how that guy's injured, but he's still shooting at me from the ground.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, God, what has been going on? I mean, it's just mostly just watching embarrassing fucking American politics. I mean, I guess you had the French and UK elections that were kind of wild to watch.
I guess Modi made a deal with Putin, basically strong-armed Putin into the deal to finally send those Indians back home, the ones that have been tricked into joining the Russian military.
I guess maybe Russia's planning on replacing them with North Koreans. who
Actually,
apparently headed to the front.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard about
Oh,
yeah,
Putin, Putin made his first visit to North Korea since like the earliest days of his presidency.
that. That part I know.
Had this big
Oh,
had this big signing of like a friendship forever, like alliance without limits kind of thing with Kim Jong Un, and then Kim Jong Un agreed to send North Korean soldiers to the front in Ukraine.
That's crazy. I mean, that's basically North Korea just like declaring war on Ukraine.
Yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah, for sure.
just straight up being like a declared ally in a war.
Hmm.
Well, they're probably not going to do very well.
I mean, do they ever?
How sad would it be if they totally outperformed the Russians?
That would be fucking hilarious, honestly.
I don't know. The North Korean military, the slouches that people would think because that country's so poor. But one of the reasons the country is so poor is they spend all their money on the military. They have one of the largest militaries on Earth.
Well, it's kind of the only thing that
Man,
keeps their country afloat. So.
Right. So,
There's a question of how good the training is. I mean, the equipment sucks, so they don't have that. But if they can get it from the Russians, that might be some.
I mean, the Russians have been buying their equipment.
True.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if Ukraine's going to feel terribly threatened by the North Koreans rolling up in a bunch of, 1940s era tanks.
Yeah, I mean, as far as North Korea's actual like ground force technology, like their tanks and their tactical vehicles, they're not going to be a problem for Ukraine. Oh, North Korea has spent a lot of money on missile technology.
That's true.
And their missile technology is actually pretty good.
But they want to keep that in North Korea.
Yeah, and I don't know that they have a lot of it.
Right.
What they have is pretty high quality, surprisingly, but
It's because they got a lot of help from China.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pakistan having nukes was maybe one of the worst things that the international community has ever allowed, because that's probably where the Iranians got their nuclear technology and where the North Koreans got their nuclear technology. So if any country is willing to sell off that information, it's Pakistan.
Well, I mean, that was kind of out of the bag a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. No, the international community did not do a good job on enforcing non-proliferation at all.
No. Plus, I mean, we let India have nukes, so there's only natural attacks.
Oh, yeah, of course. One of those countries can't have a weapon system without the other one getting it. It's too much of a rivalry. Still can't believe we don't have hypersonic missiles yet.
I think we do now, don't we? There's kind of shit.
Did we?
Yes.
Did we get our shit together and actually?
We do have like prototypes of them. I don't think they're like in full service yet, like the Russian ones are.
Yeah, it's just crazy that the Russians and Chinese have them, and we were like caught so flat-footed by
Oh yeah.
that.
It's my understanding.
Those, now that Russia and China have those, they've almost made aircraft carriers completely irrelevant.
If China can get like enough of those missiles together in such a way where they could seriously threaten our fleet, like that is a big that curbs our international power and authority. Wow.
Well,
we depend on it.
Yeah, the Navy is where our power comes from. We adopted the British system of global dominance.
And if they can just effectively slowly push us out of the Pacific, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna
Well, it just those missiles allow them to keep the aircraft carriers far enough from the coast for the actual like aerial bombardments from the aircraft carriers to be pretty dicey.
Yes. We would have
You got to be able to
depend
fly. You got to be able to fly your mission and back. So you got to be within a couple 100 miles of the coast.
It means we're going to have to go all in on like stealth technology to be able to pull that kind of stuff off.
Or we just double down on rods from God.
That
we just
too.
We just have a nightmare war to end all wars.
Dumping shit on each other from space.
Yeah. Dropping 20-ton tungsten rods from space.
But I mean, the Chinese are ahead of us there too. They don't do anything in space anymore.
Yeah, well, the problem is that the Chinese, so we spent all our time we were so far ahead, and we invested a bunch of money in the next generation of tech. What China realized was they were never going to catch up to us by developing the next generation of tech, so they skipped an entire generation of tech and focused on what was even further in the future. like,
2
theoretically.
generations ahead.
Well, they just skipped the next gen. Like, they didn't even try to develop that technology. They immediately started working on developing the technology that people theorized was going to come after.
And meanwhile, we just sat on the
Yep.
Good thing for them that they were right about what was actually going to come next, because sometimes people are like, the next thing will be robot horses.
hand.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, the technology they developed wasn't like a major leap. It's just, the way that American weapons manufacturers were thinking was like, oh yeah, that's 10 years down the road. Here's what we're going to be developing in the next 5 years. And China's like, fuck what they're developing in the next 5 years.
Let's go for the
Focus
10
on
year.
doing what they're going to want.
Totally.
They in particular had a big wake-up call in that sense after the Iraq War happened in the 90s. Because that was when they were trying to achieve more of a Russian-style technological parity with the West, and then they saw just how Saddam Hussein just got savage. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah, right. And especially, people don't think about what a big deal, especially the first Gulf War, but both of them were, because Saddam had like the 4th largest military in the world, was considered to be pretty technologically advanced for a Middle Eastern nation.
So it is worth pointing out that his military was comically untrained, and
Yeah.
the Russians ripped them off hardcore on crash-ass weapons.
They definitely should have had night.
Well, the Russians ripped all that shit out. They literally were just like,
If you watch a history of the first Gulf War, the Americans would just hide in their tanks all day and then show up at night because there's no night vision on the Iraqis.
yeah, the Iraqis literally couldn't fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah, those tanks were supposed to have night vision, but the Russians literally went, well, not the export version. You could see the slots in the tank where the Russians had pulled them out. Like, you cheap ass one.
Russians for you, man.
Same shit with like their air defense systems, their planes, like everything. Anything they needed to fight a modern war was basically robbed from them by the Russians. So they
I wonder if, because Russia's always had very serious interests in the Middle East. I wonder if they wanted to make sure that Saddam could fight a regional war but couldn't fight a superpower just in case.
I think so. I think that's definitely the case. Of course, then they showed up in Ukraine without any like night sights or radios or anything that works in their own gear. So.
Yeah,
who knows?
That's pretty crazy, man.
Did you hear that in the war now they're using like fucking like civilian like propeller planes to just like buzz around major cities and shoot out with drones?
Jesus, really?
Yeah, that's what the Ukrainians are doing.
I saw they're getting back to blimps with nets.
Ooh, blimps with nets.
Ooh, that's some advanced technology.
Hey, that's how the Soviets dealt with aircraft in World War II. Is they sent out the blimps with nets so that the planes would get caught in them.
Wasn't terribly effective.
No, but that's their drone strategy right now. Is around some of their largest cities, they're putting the blimps with nets up.
I am enjoying how you might want to go slightly to the left on this. I am enjoying how the Ukrainians they keep doing successful airstrikes like deep in Russia, right? Blowing up warehouses and stuff. And whenever that happens, the Russians are always like, "Oh, we blew it up, but the shrapnel from the drone just happened to fall on this thing that couldn't have been the enemy target, but conveniently caused dozens of explosions and took out this entire base." It's like you guys say that every time this happens.
Count to 4. Inhale. Count to 4. Exhale. You got it.
Yeah, dude, that fucked up.
Yeah, he did.
He's here.
This asshole again.
Time to get tortured, I guess.
God, he's too big.
Later was hungry. I didn't want the flesh to go to waste. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, well, he's dead.
I'm sure you are.
God damn it.
Little Nazi fuck. You are a funny man. Clown of the years when you were a boy, I would guess.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of the dogs. Yeah.
My father died of electrocution. Such accidents were not unusual at the coalfields of Hua Valley. I remember my uncle telling me that he was standing in water when it happened. Water is a conduit for electricity. And what is in our bodies? That is right. Water. When I press this button, electricity will flow through your body, carried by this water, and it will cramp up and you will feel the most intense pain you've ever felt in your life. If you do not want to feel this pain...
It wouldn't be a Wolfenstein game without the evil Nazi torture sequence.
Yeah. It's funny, the footage for Indiana Jones, I feel like the Nazis in that game feel even more like the Nazis in the Wolfenstein games versus the Nazis in the Indiana
I
Jones
can see
movies.
it. Yeah.
Your comedy act won't save you. Talking will.
Joke's on you. Health regenerates.
Why do you insist? Your boys are dying out there on the beaches and the fields. It's pathetic, like pulling the wings off an insect. Your war is lost.
When I break free, I will fry you in this chair till you die.
Right in the leg.
Ouch.
Damn. That looks like it hurt, yeah.
Inhale. Count to 4. Exhale.
One last time, then I will kill you.
Hey.
Yo, what's up,
What's up,
Afternoon
Afternoon
Tune? We're good, man. We're just killing some Nazis.
Or at least being
Well,
tortured by
we're being tortured one by at the moment, but earlier we
the
were killing
biggest fucking Nazi in the world.
Yeah.
I will kill your dog.
That's goddamn right we will.
Yeah.
It's a Nazi dog, alright? We're
Save
killing the dog.
Save the dog, man.
Nice. Oh,
I like
shit.
how they make it look like it's so easy to stab somebody with a pipe.
I know.
It just goes
Like
right
with a
in.
knife.
I mean, well, BJ is freakishly strong.
Yeah,
so-
That's true. We're killing Nazis.
and their dog.
And their dogs. Killing Nazis and their bastard Nazi
Here we
dogs.
Oh shit. He must not have died.
Hey, thank you for the biddies, Afternoon Tune. Thank you, thank you. How are you doing today? Down to pipes and a knife again. God damn it. Just got all my weapons back.
As is tradition for shooters. Yeah, I heard about that. That was in the storm, right?
Yeah, there's that hurricane coming on there. There we go. Shit.
Are you down in Texas, Afternoon Tune? What's that?
Fucking dog, Rudy.
Yeah, Texas.
Rough stuff, man.
Yeah, that thing looked pretty ugly.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why we don't bury our transmission lines, I'll never know.
Hey, there we go.
That was
Bunch
quick.
of shit.
Literally bury them under the highway. You wouldn't even need to get much for permissions.
I don't know. Maybe they don't do it that way. 'Cause it's when you have
Harder to do maintenance.
Yeah. And we don't want to shut whole highways down for that. Get back to watching Three Body Problem. Lucky you. So fortunate, man. I tell you, that storm did you a favor.
It was trying to prevent you from watching this piece of shit. Not totally new information.
Yeah, it was not very good.
I don't think either you or me though is going to be as harsh as Sky.
No, we're not going to come down on it the way she is.
You know, that's something I was talking to Afternoon Tune the other day, and he asked, I think I said it, and he asked about it, but do you think Sky will have even one nice thing to say?
I'm not sure. I've asked. She's like,
Because I get the feeling no.
I could probably find a few nice things to say, but
But you have to really try.
Yeah.
But I
have more nice things to say about it than the Fallout show. But that's not saying.
That's really not, no. Then go down, you stupid Nazi fuck. Fuck.
Killed your fucking dog, Rudy.
Do you think you have a lot of nice things to say about it?
No. But like you, I also...
Seems like a lot going on. I completely agree with you. That's one of my major criticisms.
It's too fast. Yeah, it's too much too quickly. Well, Afternoon Tune, this might help you know, just or perspective-wise, but they go through all of the material of what would be book 1 just in the first 5 episodes.
And they cram in some material from books 2 and 3 into this first season.
Yep. Even though they're going to do 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'll be an interesting review.
Oh, there we go.
To your right. Oh, this way. That is correct.
I'm not aiming for that. Would you, some of you come closer to me, please? Come down
I'm
here.
using,
Tactics.
You scared him too much. I don't want to come.
I think you guys should check out the Ultraman movie on Netflix.
I've never watched Ultraman anything.
Yeah, I don't know jack shit about Ultraman.
Literally, like the
Gigabash.
The Gigabash.
That's all I know about him.
Yeah, that's literally like all of Ultraman that I know. It's a movie though, not a series.
I know it's 1 part Godzilla, 1 part Power Rangers. So I couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, and I really do not like Power Rangers, so I.
You love you're saying.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I might not be the audience for something like that. God damn it! Right up behind me. Animated movie.
Okay. Animated could be good.
Yeah, I can see it maybe as an animation being maybe a little more.
A lot of that kaiju stuff, that's the benefit from that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Usually it's better animated. Yeah, I don't know. Would you say it's very similar to Power Rangers at all, Afternoon Toon? Just Ultraman in general?
Is it more Power Rangers or more Godzilla? Or does it do its own thing?
Because I mean, I will say I really don't like Power Rangers.
So Sage, together we are more.
Is that from Power Rangers?
Yeah, that's from the.
See, I've never
that's
even
the
heard that
tagline of
before.
the movie.
Oh, I've never even
A
heard
live
that.
action movie that nobody watched. Okay.
Oh, that like reboot one?
Yeah.
Isn't all the Power Rangers live action?
I guess I don't know how much of it's live action.
If there's
much
any-
of it is-
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess you're right. It is mostly live action, but I don't know. I don't know that much about Power Rangers. I think I'm making
don't.
that clear.
Yeah, it's a complete blank for me in terms of like
I know
I know enough to know I don't like it.
that the main character raising a kaiju. Okay.
Oh, huh?
That's interesting.
3 kaiju and a baby.
Haven't they kind of done that in a lot of movies, though? Is this like a baby Godzilla sort of thing?
Godzuki?
Yeah.
We're bringing back Godzuki. This is because they'll actually come towards me because they think they have an advantage.
By walking single file through the narrow door.
Well, they think they can get at me because there's multiple entrances.
Power Rangers is okay. I stopped watching it when I was young. Yeah. I mean, it's made for kids, and that's about it.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame get kids for enjoying it. Thing. I just some people are still really into it. Yeah, that I don't get. I don't get it.
Well,
I can
there
understand.
there is a vicious addiction to nostalgia.
That's true.
True.
It's one of the weirdest things.
Watch
I don't
the
think
new
there's
Power
anything wrong with growing up and being like, yeah, I have an attachment to this because I was a kid, but I'm not going to watch it anymore because...
I can even see somebody watching it as long as they're going into it with the willingness of like, oh, well, it's kind of dumb, but it's dumb fun, right?
I think that's totally fine. It's the difference between that versus, hey man, this is really great fucking writing. You gotta be into it, even though you don't have nostalgia for it. That's where I think it's weird.
Man, they don't make, movies like Power Rangers anymore.
Yeah, that's
All
also
they make now
weird.
is just Breaking Bad. I think there's any property that is weird for adults to be into.
My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's the big one.
100%.
That's
is the
fucking
one.
weird.
That's number one.
Yeah, that's fucking weird
That's
to be into
weird.
that.
Sonic.
Sonic's
also,
a little
yeah.
weird to be into.
Well, I guess it depends on what part of the fandom.
Well, what about
you
Shadow,
fall into?
though?
But Sonic has a lot. Sonic has a lot of the same sins of the My Little Pony.
That's
fans
true.
do.
My Little Pony was sort of the franchise that was like sort of made that thing, you know, where like you get these cringy adults and you're like, what the fuck? Why are you into this?
And then you find out it's because they want to have sex with the cartoons.
And then it's like, what the fuck kind of person are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sadly, I do know.
unfortunately, we do know about the Cloppers.
Yeah, there were weeks. We all went to the same high school, and there were bronies that went to that high school, and I wish that wasn't the case, but it was.
I worked at the Mall of America when that was at its height.
I did too. Yeah.
And there would be like a group that would come around. They'd meet up like
They'd
every
have like
month or
brony
something.
get-togethers.
Get-togethers, and they'd go to all the toy stores.
There'd
in
be
the
like
mall,
60 of them in a group too, and they'd all be wandering around the mall together.
Yeah, and they would wipe the shelves of all My Little Pony merch at Hot Topic and Spencer's and in the toy store and the amusement park, and they would just go around and
Yeah,
we all went to high school together.
that was forever ago.
a
Long time ago now. Yeah.
What the hell was it about My Little Pony that made it turn into that?
Okay, here's what happened at first. Is the writing was actually pretty good on the show, and it had decent jokes, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple episodes, I was like, oh yeah, this is like the kind of kids show that I like because it
Like
leaves,
Powerpuff Girls,
yeah,
right?
it
Where it's
For
like,
Adventure Time.
it
Adventure
leaves,
Time
it
is-
leaves something for the adult viewer.
Yeah.
right.
So then I think that was the first thing because it was like, oh yeah, adults can enjoy this show too. No, I didn't watch a whole lot of the show or anything or go out of my way to watch it. But I was like, if I've got to watch a kid show, this is one of the better kid shows I can watch. And I think it went from that to people were like, this is a show for adults to like, this is a show that should be rated adults. And then I was like, I don't know where things are going.
That was the transition, essentially.
How did we go from A to B on that?
Well, they wanted to fuck the horses, so they said, make this a show for adults.
You know, you can make a show for adults that isn't that.
True.
Yeah, I don't know how it gained the sexual element. I really don't. I don't even know how it gained like the dedicated fandom that it did among adults. Because it's like I watched Rugrats when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I have to watch Rugrats again now, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of cool in-jokes for adults. Like this is a fun show if I had to watch the show with like
Your niece or your nephews or
like
something.
my little cousins or something.
Yeah.
And I had to watch this show, I'd be like, oh, at least we're watching this show.
Right.
It's not like just
It's just
gaga dum dum. But
Some anime shows feel like have a bigger adult audience than a kid fan base like Steven Universe.
That's what I don't know
I don't
anything
know jack
about,
shit
really.
Steven Universe.
yeah, that's a little after my time. I know the show.
I know of it, but yeah, I don't really know anything about it. But yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, there's tons of stuff that I enjoyed as a kid that I would watch now, but I wouldn't take it very seriously. I wouldn't try to claim it's an adult show.
Right. But it was also I don't know how it became like the brony stuff became like a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what things up.
That's bizarre.
That it would be a property that would develop a fandom like Star Wars like where like people like live it and they want to wear the clothes that have like something to do with it, or like superhero. Like it literally reached that level for a subset of people. And it's like, oh, we wear My Little Pony stuff all the time, and we do the My Little Pony things. And do you remember how they made that like fan fiction movie for them?
Yes.
Which one? There were a couple. Are you talking about the ones where they were
they were like
they like go through.
Yeah, they were like
they were still horses, but they're anthropomorphic horses.
No. They went into like another reality
people?
where they were actually people.
Okay.
And they were
I didn't know if it was like a BoJack Horseman.
And then it was
thing,
still
or-
creepy because they were like underage high school girls
Right.
that they turned into.
Didn't they still have like weird like horse-like faces, kind of?
I think they had some like
It's been so
I don't know.
It's been that's
really
been not been a
remember-
thing for so long
remember
now.
what
My
it
only
looked like.
contact with it was watching, I think, Double Toasted talk about it.
Yeah, Double Toasted talking about it was always very funny.
A lot of Nazi bro. Yeah, that was weird.
Yep.
happened.
Yep, that 100% also happened.
Those some of those subcultures do overlap with Nazism.
There are Nazi furries.
There are a lot of Nazi furries that's a real thing.
That's so weird.
It's like you guys know the Nazis would have put you in the camps too.
Yeah, furries would have been going in the camps
it's
before
it's
almost anyone else.
Yeah, it's just like maybe you should read up on like the Nazis and their thoughts on sexual degeneracy before you start like really subscribing to this. But I mean, the truth is like that like Nazi is basically a costume for edgelords.
It is.
A lot of those people don't know anything about the Nazis or their ideology or don't ascribe to them at all. They just love the fact that it's the most edgy thing you can do is dress like Nazis.
That is true. Some of them really know. Some of them mean
Some of them really do.
Some of them are just
Undoubtedly.
anti-Semites who like to glaze over the other stuff the Nazis did besides that, which is already a major red flag. But
yeah.
It depends on where you go. Like, Nazis are popular in a lot of other countries around the world where people there don't really know what a Nazi is.
It's pretty popular in East Asia.
Yeah. Like movies like Iron Sky or like that film there.
That's insane. 'Cause that was, on top of being a Nazi movie, it was also just a bad fucking movie.
But it's...
Granted, Nazis have never made good art.
That's true.
Of course. And then you have to realize that Nazi iconography and everything is also just become symbolic of like hard nationalism.
True,
So
which is not quite the same thing.
Right.
No.
So even people in places where the Nazis would have viewed them as genetically inferior or whatever, still use that imagery to be like, this is like, I know it's a problem in Mongolia. A lot of Mongolian Nazis. And it's not like, they're not like the Aryans of the master race. They're like the Mongolians of the master
Yeah.
race.
Right. It's just the problem with just any group of people calling themselves the master race.
Yeah,
It's
it's not great.
I always find it interesting, though, like especially with China. Like anti-Japanese sentiment is pretty popular after what the Japanese did during World War II. Perfectly understandable. Then they all, are like really into the Nazis. It's like, you guys know that these people are the same damn thing, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
But I mean,
don't.
China is one of the most ethno-nationalist states on Earth right now, so it's not surprising that they didn't personally suffer at the hands of the Nazis, so
They suffered at the hands of the Japanese instead.
Allies, but yeah.
and the Japanese were, I mean, the Germans and the Japanese made perfect allies because they had the same view. They just, again, like the Japanese thought they were the master race.
Well, that's an interesting cultural thing too, because there were times
the
where
Italians didn't think they were the master race, right?
I think
after they got their
Mussolini was trying to push shit.
After they got their asses handed to them so many times, I feel like they had to kind of throw in the towel on that, right?
I mean, I would think so, but
Mussolini definitely had his elements of the Italian government who thought that way and wanted to do the same kind of shit the Nazis were doing, but they were just so incompetent that they never really had that.
I just like that Italy was this guy, wanted to do this whole ethno-nationalist thing, and then Mussolini turned around and was like, we gotta stop eating pasta. And it's like, kind of attacking the identity here,
Well, it's an interesting cultural thing too, because when some of the Attack on Titan stuff was coming out, there were definitely people here who thought the use of imagery, right, of armbands and very German kind of cities was like super insensitive or whatever. But I think people also forget that side of the world dealt with Japan, not Nazi Germany. So it's actually like the reverse, like you think at the times then when American media uses like Imperial Japan
Constantly.
all the time, and people don't think of that as being super insensitive.
Well, yeah, because in China, if you display like the rising sun like symbol, that is equivalent to you like
holding
a swastika flag.
Yeah, but people only think of one or the other depending on what side of the world they're in, and so that's why there's that certain disconnect.
Right. Well, I mean, the armband Holocaust imagery is still taboo, but
absolutely.
But there's not really a taboo on Nazi imagery in the West as long as it's portrayed like negatively.
Right.
Like
That's
as long as,
Right.
they're
Star
the,
Wars.
as long as they're the enemies, then it's fine.
Well, that's true, but there were some people with Attack on Titan that were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, these are the bad guys," but it's still not okay to use this imagery, which I mean, I think is silly. But again, it strikes to that idea that they're not going to think about it nearly as much. In the East, they're going to think of, well, like you said, the rising sun is going to be that to them.
But I mean, part of it too is the tension over it is still real in the
Yes.
because the Japanese don't
Fuck, who's hitting me?
apologize.
No, they don't give a
They,
shit.
they don't.
No,
give a
that's
They
shit.
still
also
have like
not.
some of those museums, shrines.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit,
they
where
go.
like glorify it.
The prime ministers in Japan visit the shrines all the time. It's a big part of the right wing in Japan is to go visit the shrines, and so it's more alive in Asia because. I mean, the Germans have like profusely and desperately apologized as much as.
Well, yeah, any kind of Nazi anything is completely illegal in Germany.
Yeah, you can't even say like
you can get
fairly asinine sounding slogans that date back to that era.
because it's just like, no, we're not touching that shit.
Yeah.
Which I mean, good. Like honestly, yeah, like fucking don't. we should watch them to make sure that that's not happening. But
There's a reason that they spent decades like with their country divided up by the nations that defeated them.
But yeah, Japan never really. I mean, Japan got the bombs, so like
Japan suffered
was
some pretty
occupied,
severe
for
immediate
sure.
consequences, but no real long term.
yeah, not in the long term.
It also just shows the difference of the experience. I mean, of the two wars, because the West was. I mean, a lot of Americans died fighting in the Pacific, but otherwise the West was spared the wrath of the Japanese more or less, and the U.S. was at least on the offensive in that situation.
Right.
Whereas, like the memories in Europe of World War II
Yeah,
Much harsher.
more
It
raw and have impacted Americans more. Due
Right.
to the cultural proximity between Europe and the U.S.
I mean, it wasn't Japanese bombers flying over London.
Right.
It's too bad the Japanese had to be such dicks, because the Rising Sun flag is actually pretty kick-ass.
Oh yeah,
The swastika flag looks just kind of retarded.
Just garbage.
but the Rising Sun flag is pretty dope. Although that might be my Western bias speaking again.
Yeah.
But I just feel like aesthetically it's a much cooler.
Should we have dropped the bomb?
I mean, well, the alternative was invading, and that would have been messy.
I mean,
Ground invasion of the home islands would have been.
yeah, that would have been bad.
And the Japanese were not ready to surrender. They
They were
ready-
refusing to
they
surrender to the point that they were going on what they referred to as rape campaigns around the surrounding areas because they were that unwilling to surrender. So,
They were training.
yeah, I think the bomb was necessary.
Well, they were gonna-
I actually.
They
do.
were going to surrender after the first bomb.
No.
It,
Yeah,
wasn't until the second bomb came down, and they were like, "Oh shit, they might actually have a lot of these
Yeah.
bombs."
Yeah,
That
they weren't even
that
gonna-
They even started.
It was when they
talking
realized,
about
because what they had planned for was we're going to cause as much carnage to the American army as we can.
Mhm.
And when they realized, oh shit, the American army might not actually even bother landing to wipe us out.
That was the only reason they even gave up.
It is, now I will say it is contested that maybe the Japanese would have surrendered anyway when the Russians entered the war, like the war.
Sure.
because the Japanese were way more afraid of communism
Yeah.
than
They were,
anything else. The idea that Japan could become communist.
And there was
That
also
that
the-
terrified them.
I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever that's still a thing that runs deep in Japan's DNA. Have you ever seen that video? I think it's from the '80s of the guy running on stage with a samurai sword and stabbing a communist in the stomach.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was the '80s that happened. That's yeah.
There's also just the practical consideration of you got the Americans coming in from the south, you got the Russians coming in from the north. You are not going to have any chance fighting both of them.
But it's also But I mean, I
But also, it's like
I think it was
how much
similar.
are they willing to just die anyway, even if they lose.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the calculus for the Japanese was the same as the Germans, where it's like, all right, well, let's just hope the West gets here first.
Yep, I can see that. And the thing is that the Russians they moved quick when they got involved in China.
Oh yeah,
You know, it was like the very end of the war, but they like blitzkrieg the hell out of
yeah.
that. Okay.
Well, they were looking to make sure they were at the table in the Pacific too. They didn't want the Pacific to be an American only kind of decision because the Soviets and the Americans both realized that they were going to be in a war with each other fairly shortly.
And they're both competing to see what influence they could get around the world,
Yeah,
which is why they rushed into China.
yeah, and they wanted to have a stake in the claim if China was going to get divided up. I think a lot of countries were surprised by how America reacted to the end of World War II. They and had to temper their own ambitions because America wasn't going to take any territory.
People were saying something is brewing between China and Japan. I mean, something's kind of always brewing between China and Japan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like the perpetual, just infinite state of.
They're the
those
two major
countries.
rivals in Asia. I mean, India is also a major rival of China, but like Japan and China have like a grudge that goes back like the better part of a century at this point.
It's kind of like Israel and Palestine, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that there's an ocean between them because there would probably have been some
There'd be a
more
lot
conflicts.
more conflict
Yeah.
if not.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, look at China and India. Like, they're smart enough not to arm their soldiers on their borders because they
With
don't
guns,
want. They don't. Yeah, with guns because they don't want a war to break out. But they also just meet on the road sometimes and beat the shit out of each other with sticks.
And electro tridents.
And do people side with Japan because they have anime girls? I
Yes.
think so.
Yes, they do.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the case.
Definitely part of it. Like, Japan has way more soft power than China does.
Yes.
Way more like international cultural power.
China's just also not a state that I want to set the tone for global governance in the
Yeah.
future. Like,
It's authoritarian dictatorship.
Yeah.
and a heavy surveillance state culture.
Well, I mean, all the other countries are looking at that, including us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to do that.
The
here.
U.S. government
Oh,
looks at China with so much jealousy.
Rich people in the U.S. talk all the time about how much better it would be for business
If we were like China.
if we were like-
Yep.
Yep.
There have been a number of prominent billionaires who have been like, well, the Chinese system is much more efficient, and people seem happy, and
When everyone travels, they always want to go to Japan. Yeah.
I mean, I would
Japan,
too. I won't
yeah.
even lie. I would like to.
I mean, this is actually a really cool place, for tourism and stuff.
yeah, I liked it.
And China is too. It's just that China has sort of it has a lot more sort of fear around it. Of like, you go there, you don't know if you're going to come back out. Which,
Yeah.
at least when I went there, that certainly wasn't true. But
Well, Sky won't go there now.
I think that's for other reasons.
It's true.
Families.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, I think, there's a lot of cultural and historical stuff I'd love to see in China. I also would love to go to China just because I think it's one of the most, like, ecologically beautiful places.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the pictures
the
you
environments.
Yeah, go out west. So.
see. Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
Just like they're crazy, like eroded away, kind of like rounded top mountains that just go on forever, just lush green. It's pretty stunning to see some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, China's a beautiful country. And the cities are interesting in their own way, too. Because they're just very different from cities here.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, for all the issues we talk about there being in China, it's like it's not like many of those things aren't issues here.
oh, yeah, I mean, America is just as bad, if not worse, in a lot of
I
ways.
do have to say, just from having been in Japan, it's shocking how much more orderly and civilized a society can be than ours.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's something I like about Japan is that it's like disrespectful to like talk to people in public.
Yeah.
You keep to your fucking own business. Leave everybody alone. There aren't like people aren't like on the bus going like, "Hey, can you take your earbuds out so I can talk to you right now?" Like that. You don't get that in Japan.
Yeah.
That doesn't fucking happen there.
But, I mean, the thing is that America's kind of an anomaly.
Very clean.
When it comes to that, yeah.
Because, I mean, Europe, China, a lot of places that are,
Stop moving.
even in the third world, are much more, like, orderly and clean, and, like, people aren't fucking crazy there like they are here.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yep. That is definitely true.
I don't know what it is about America.
Americans are fucking
Like,
insane.
this is a genuine, like, sociological problem that scientists have been struggling to understand about American culture.
Just how antisocial some people are.
No, how two social people are, and they'll.
Well, but antisocial in their behavior.
Oh, sure,
Not wanting to talk to people, like being anti-society, like
Yes,
undermining society,
Undermining.
with their behavior.
U.S. should probably have a female on the train for, like, Japan. I didn't know Japan had those.
Yeah, I didn't know
yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
but I think that's a
That is-
I think that's a good
that is-
idea.
That's a brilliant
That
idea.
Oh, now that
That
afternoon
is
tune is
one of Japan's biggest problems that we don't have in the same way. It's
Is all the creepy train
the
stuff.
groping
Yeah.
and the creep shotting. And
That's
all that
one
stuff.
really. I'm glad that we're not like Japan in that
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, Ulysses, now that afternoon tune is here, you should tell him about our local train.
Oh yeah. If you ever come up to the Twin Cities, maybe don't take the Green Line
Yeah, don't take the Green Line train.
because it's basically a rolling drug den at this point. Because that's where everybody goes to buy drugs. Just
solicit prostitutes.
just do whatever hard drugs you can think of: meth, crack, heroin. The middle car of every train is called the party car.
Is it?
Yeah, that's an actual thing.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if we have middle cars anymore, because I think starting, like, this month is when the cities announced they were going to do two-car trains only, probably because of all the complaints about the middle car.
Is ridership down?
Ridership has not recovered since the pandemic.
That's great.
Mostly because people are stabbing each other and doing drugs on the train.
Well, what happened is nobody was taking the train anymore because everybody was staying home, and
Yeah.
then all the ne'er-do-wells, let's say, decided to basically take over the trains. And then when the pandemic ended, nobody wanted to get back on the trains because it's like, well, that's where you go to get, like, high or stabbed or whatever. And so, yeah. So the trains are mostly full of drug addicts, homeless, and crazy people, and
Yeah.
also, like, gangsters and shit.
You have to slide down.
Yeah, maybe you got to rappel down there. Yeah, apparently, like, if you go on the trains at night, there'll be, like, just gang members just waiting to, like,
I don't
shake
see
you
anything
down
to
and
interact with. Oh, shit, there
stuff.
it
What's
is.
that? Oh, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good place.
And the train was nice pre-pandemic. Like, it was actually
It was nice, yeah.
like,
Well, you had some crazy people on there, but, like...
It had problems. You had crazies. You had people who would, like, shit and piss on it sometimes. But it was still mostly, like, a pretty good system. Now, though, like, there's a lot of people who are like, don't take it, it's not safe.
I would be one of them. I actually had to quit a job a couple years ago because people kept getting murdered at the stop I got off at. And I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
That just like there's just regular murders at that bus stop. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm not going to do this job.
That was downtown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was downtown. So yeah, like that just keeps happening. So I feel like I'm not gonna play these odds.
And it's not just the train itself, it's also the train stations, because, like, some of them,
Yep.
or depending on where you go, they're basically like refugee camps for the homeless. And people are just openly selling drugs to strangers at these platforms now. You just get off the train, you're gonna people are going to go, hey, you want to buy some green ice or whatever the fuck.
Green ice on the green line.
Yeah, they're fucking marketing their drugs now based on green line availability.
They're like, it's good if you get it on the green line. Huh.
And the police don't do anything about it.
Oh, they won't even go there.
They don't even check fares anymore.
Yeah, they won't even. Yeah, they won't even check if people have like paid tickets
They
or
keep the
whatever.
trains running for some reason.
Yeah, they have these like soccer games at the stadium down there, right?
Yeah.
And most people take the train to get to them.
Yeah, because they didn't build any parking.
Because that was the plan, is it was going to be hooked up to the green line, so we can encourage, what you would call it, green transit kind of stuff, which was fine when they came up with the plan, but it doesn't work if you're not going to enforce like normalcy on the trains.
Right.
So you get this weird situation where you got dozens of cops standing around at these train stations, where it's supposed to be, like event security for the
Whoa.
like jetpack dudes.
Jets.
Oh shit! Oh, an airstrike.
Straight up like Blitzkrieg. Fucking yeah.
But yeah, you got all these cops just standing around the platforms. They're not really doing much other than just acting as security for the stadium games. And then on the train that pulls in are all these dudes just, snorting crack right there. Like, they don't hide it. It's just out in the open. You go on the train anytime, you smell that
crazy,
shit.
man. We didn't used to be on that California shit.
The whole country's on that California shit now. Okay. After that,
She's right in the face. Yeah, I don't know how you're alive after that. So yeah, avoid public transit if you ever come around these parts.
That's sad, man. It ain't used to be like that.
it
No, we
be
used to
nice.
have like genuine
Drugs for all.
drugs
Yeah,
for all.
they might as well put a sign up in the train.
Gewonnener Hund, der erledigt werden muss, ist aus dem Kerker ausgebrochen.
Yeah, we used to have a pretty nice public transportation system.
At least the trains. I will say that the buses.
Some of the buses were always bad. Yeah.
Like before we had the Green Line, we had the 16 covering the same route, and that was like the place to go if you wanted see fights, see people get beat up.
Yeah, 16 as well. I mean, the Green Line did just replace the 16, so it's not super surprising that the same people are riding it.
Oh, I forgot to mention for Afternoon Tune that some of these things I was reading about for like people who've been on the Green Line, they would see like fights and like people just getting the shit kicked out of them, and they'd call the police, and the police would be like, "What are you calling us for?"
Yeah, we don't help. That's what they say. They basically say that on the phone. They're like, "We don't. That's not our job."
That's a Metro Transit problem. Call them. Like that's what they say.
You remember that article about how in Pittsburgh there were just going to be no cops for like 6 hours a day?
The Green Line is a case study of why you don't do that.
And you could go to the police station and like register a complaint. They would check back about tomorrow.
You just go into the police station with like a fucking knife in your back.
Oh,
like, I'd like to register a complaint.
You can't even go into the police station. There's a call box. There's like a call box you can leave a voicemail.
Hello, I have been murdered.
Please help. He's stabbing me. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Some bored cop checks in the next day. There's like 6 bodies like outside, like just piled into the phone booth. It's like, well, I guess those cases solve themselves.
I mean, that's their behavior, right? Look at the commanders go and hide.
Convenient of them to all group together.
Because they always go hide in the biggest like bitch spot on the map. Just like a fucking Nazi to hide and be a little bitch.
True. It's kind of what they were doing in Berlin at the end.
Oop, whoops. Wrong button.
Yeah, it's so bad that like people from New York say it's like the most dangerous train line in the country.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the reviews are from people who are from, and that's like New York's fucking chaos.
New York is like where people get set on fire.
That's where you get shoved from the track.
Yeah.
By just some random guy having a bad day.
Mm-hmm. That was like a regular thing for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel pretty sad that like we apparently have worse than that.
I do have to say the Twin Cities have a history of being among the worst as far as different types of crimes and stuff.
Well, I mean, good old murder apples.
Yeah, Minneapolis was called Murder Annapolis in the 90s. I don't think you get much worse than that.
Or the Minneapolis, which was directly in reference to the crime rate in New York, and how similar it was here.
Yeah.
Well,
it's weird. You just wouldn't think that this would be a city that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, though. What it is.
I mean, it's big. It is a big city.
It is.
I think size is some of it.
It's also relevant that both downtowns are increasingly dying right now.
Oh god, yeah, dude. No one goes to. How did that guy not die?
That dude was behind the other dude that you killed.
No, I was shooting him, and then the other guy ran up in front. So he got quite a few bullets.
I guess he was really fishing for an Iron Cross. I don't know. If you're ever in Germany and then some dude is really bragging to you about how he has an Iron Cross and it's so cool, you call it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's the way that Germans get around the don't be a Nazi in public rules. Is they go into that kind of shit.
Get to the end of this cave, and I think that'll be a good spot to leave off on.
I always enjoy a good day.
Fuck yeah, man. Killing Nazis is one of the most productive and wonderful things you can spend your time on.
It used to be a national pastime.
True. Ah!
Yeah, a lot of this train stuff, of course.
Oh, fuck off. Really?
You know, I've had personal experience that corroborates a lot of this, but a lot of this is just from, like, I just was curious to read a bunch of travel reviews, you know, about the Green Line, to see what people had to say. You know, just to make sure I'm not the only one seeing the weird shit.
Yeah, and I believe it.
We've all seen
I've
insane shit on it.
I've never seen quite the things that you see.
Yeah, I think you've got
wild shit.
You've got it the worst.
Yeah, and I haven't been a regular user of public transportation.
I kind of haven't used the train much in a long time, either. Like, I've been on there occasionally, but...
Because I definitely feel like when I was riding it, there were crazies, but not as violently.
Not like should be locked in a straitjacket in an asylum level like you seem for some reason.
Yeah, I always get the weird.
You're a magnet for that kind of shit, man.
Oh, I did see that guy whip his dick out for his friends at the bus stop.
That's weird.
Interesting. I'm not sure. Is that how people spend time with their friends these days?
I don't know. You have to wonder.
I mean, I'm some friends definitely do.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were arguing over size or
what the hell? God damn it.
He wanted to make sure something wasn't a genital wart. I'm not really sure where it's going. But... But that did kind of blow my mind driving home from that day from your place.
Yeah, because that was like just down on like a major street, wasn't it?
That was right over by the Target on University.
Yeah.
Like
major
whatever
street.
that Hamlin, like that cross street.
Yeah, two major streets. I'm pretty sure that CVS over there's like regular like hand jobs and stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In the CVS or just around it?
Around it.
Okay.
They may have burrowed into the building. Who knows?
Because I've walked by there a couple times, and like you see some dude like pulling his pants up, right?
Oh, okay.
And like, at least when I saw him, he had underwear on, so like I don't know what was going on, but like it seems very odd if some dude's got his pants down by the CVS and there's someone else hanging out next to him. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, for sure.
Keep your pants on in public. There's a PSA.
That also wouldn't shock me if that has like some corner back behind the CVS hasn't become like a default toilet.
Well, that's, I think, absolutely.
It's certainly like a bunch of default garbage dumps over there. You go by like alleys and shit, and there's just trash everywhere. Weird bedding and shit. There was also the time when I walked by that same CVS, and there was like a dude and a chick who were like kind of hugging, but like the chick was really low down.
Oh, she was definitely sucking his dick.
Well, her head was visible, but one of her hands wasn't.
Oh, okay.
And the dude
just
back was faced towards the road, so I think it was probably like a hand job.
Okay. Well,
who the fuck's gonna pay for it?
Yeah, that's
a job I can do better myself for free.
I mean, some dudes, you know, they want something, but they don't have a lot of money, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah, I feel like I've never met a woman who knew how to give a hand job. Not one time. Not one time have they been good at it.
They just don't have enough practice.
They have no idea how to do it. Well, no, they don't have dicks, so they don't know what.
That's what I'm saying is they haven't practiced.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't know how. They don't know how to do it.
And just no understanding of like what the sensitivity level is. Like don't just hug on.
Yeah, it's like they mash it like they're trying to make like a bowl of potatoes or something.
Or like they're trying to like defeather a chicken.
Well, they hear choke the chicken and they think, I gotta take that literally.
Yeah. I feel like we've made some of the wrong words for it. I feel like we've done a poor job
Of explaining it to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you hear something like, oh, I'm going to get a tug job, what do you think? You're just...
Well, yeah, I think they mean
That's
tug.
fair.
You're trying to get a gopher out of home.
Getting gopher.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's been my experience. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I've never had a good one.
Women that are pretty experienced too. They don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to that.
Well, but who's asking for them either?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's the lowest form,
Yeah.
interaction, man.
Well, it's like if a woman wants to give me a hand job, I'm just like, if you don't want to do anything else, I'll take care of this myself. I think it's fine. Thanks for the thought. But,
All right, but let me Swayze you through the process. How we do this. This is such an interesting stream.
I don't even know how we got to this.
So I spent like the first hour breaking down all the elections that took place worldwide for the last like week and a half.
And now we're talking about like how hand jobs.
And of course, afternoon dude had to show up after the intellectual portion.
Yeah, so as far as he knows, this is hand
this
jobs.
is all we're talking about is hand jobs. How did we get here? I never know.
If when the three of us are together, I never know how to like sift backwards through one of our conversations.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's what happens when you've been friends as long as we have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I also like how in high school we kind of slowly like drew towards each other just from how we were just kind of like, what's going on in this school?
yeah, that was a weird place. That was a weird place. The fucking just...
Things went crazy.
Yeah, that was a weird high school, man. A weird high school experience.
Still a pretty chill place.
I mean,
Well, the fact that
first two, or at least the first 2 years that I was there were. After that, it got
weird, but you never had to work very hard.
Yeah, but it got a lot whiter later.
That is true. That was a weird experience in my life. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, all my friends were black, and then they were all gone.
And that's the school we went to took like a weird grant money, moved buildings, and then literally the next year
went from being a school for burnouts, like a kicked out of the public school system.
Yeah, and then to being this like weird, like almost
refuge for kids who are getting picked on too much.
but like only white kids.
Yeah,
It was really fucking weird. It was really fucking weird.
it was kind of doing like a slow transition of that, like
Even before,
slightly before
yeah.
that, but yeah, that's when it kicked into high gear.
It was just
and when they moved to the new building because they somehow got that money.
And then, yeah. I don't know, man. That was a weird fucking experience. Okay, this is a new area here.
We always have the weird fucking experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where we'll stop, because this is, it's almost 6, and this is like another part. You know?
Big section.
I don't even know how big it is, but I figured we got through the caves.
We're into more caves.
All right, well, sweet afternoon, too, and thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, man.
And Sarah, if you're still lurking, sorry for the last bit of the conversation.
I blame Sage. I didn't bring that shit up.
Did you?
I didn't bring that shit up.
Who brought up the hand jobs?
Don't look at me.
Did I bring that
I
up?
probably did bring it up, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Did I? Are
I'm
you
blaming
sure?
you.
Are you sure?
God, I gotta think back to what I'm talking about.
Afternoon Tune, do you know who brought up hand jobs?
We need an outside observer.
Yeah, somebody that could be
An impartial
and fair.
judge.
I mean, I could go back and listen to the VOD later, and I can figure out.
Look, all I'm saying is I'm one of you two. I'm not taking the fall for this one.
No, I definitely.
I
think
might have
it's not
joined
you.
in, but I didn't bring it up.
No, that's fair. You did not bring it up.
Damn.
But I think I'm not sure it wasn't you.
Me?
I'm not sure it wasn't
I
you.
wouldn't.
You wouldn't do that? You're gonna tell me you wouldn't do that?
No.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. All right. Well, let's see. I don't really see. Afternoon Tune, if you have a raid suggestion, feel free to toss it out there. Otherwise, I think we're just going to end.
Is anybody else talking about hand jobs tonight?
I don't see any other hand job streams. So,
Well, I don't think I can do those on Twitch.
You can't do that. You can't. That's against Twitch's terms of service.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's that brief period where
Guess we're gonna have to start streaming on OnlyFans.
It was almost artistic, but they took that back.
That's true. There was that brief period on Twitch. You remember that, right? Where they made nudity okay. Oh yeah, okay. They made a bunch of nudity okay for artistic purposes.
Artistic purposes, which meant that everybody just started,
doing
twerking and shit.
Yeah, so it just turned into porn, and then they reversed the decision the next day.
Hey,
yeah,
twerking is the artistic form of this era, man.
Is it?
You sure?
Tell me it's not.
The definitive artistic form of an era.
When are Biden and Trump gonna have a twerk off?
That's what I want to see instead of a debate.
Biden's gonna break a hip. That's not happening.
I mean, if it did, would it hurt Biden's election chances any more than they've already been hurt?
I don't know, man. If he twerked hard enough, his ass might turn to dust.
I mean, that would be interesting to watch.
It would be interesting to watch. I'll give you that.
Like the mummy.
Okay, why? I really don't like the new system that they did for the new menu system they did, because half the time it doesn't work.
They had one of those updates where nothing actually improves.
Yeah, so now when I click on the name to do the raid, it just disappears.
Oh, you gotta type it all out again.
Well, I feel like even if I type it all out, it's just
Well, if you type it all out and then hit enter, maybe that doesn't work. This is just like it's testing your ability to spell.
Well, but then I still have to click on it.
Well, what if you just click enter right now? You click on that, and you click enter. What does that do? Does it do anything?
No.
Oh, well then I guess it is broken.
Yeah, no, hitting enter doesn't do the raid.
I guess we're not raiding anybody because Twitch fucked up.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Yeah, I think I could do it on here.
Okay. You think that's an artistic fuck up? What's this right
There
here?
we go. Okay.
I don't think I showed you this. Did you? Are we?
Oh, we're waiting a few seconds.
I mean, if you want to start playing,
there we go. All right. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll catch you later.
Bye, everybody. Here.